My sister-in-law demanded that I give her kids my toys. I refused.
These games are on my phone, not yours.
I am 28 female and I grew up in poverty. My parents barely kept a roof over our heads and fed us, but they gave me and my brother proper education. We won scholarships in private schools, but the things other kids had always left us in tears as we couldn't afford them. We also faced mocking from rich relatives, cousins, and schoolmates. We promised ourselves that we would reach a level of success and wouldn't let others mock us. By the way, this comes from application wifey1234, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I studied hard, cleared the bank exam at age 22, and I've been working as a manager in a bank with a 6-figure check in my country. My elder brother is doing even better, working for an international MNC and making double what I make. Last year, we both purchased duplexes in the same building, and though the mortgage is high, it is worth the investment and is giving our parents good living conditions. He also married an angel, Rebecca, who herself works at a reputable job. I am dating Jack, 30 male, and we just got engaged. He comes from an upper middle class family, and we are very different. He finds my toy room weird for my age, but it is full of those dream collections of toys that I wanted as a kid, ranging from teddy bears to Barbie dolls to remote cars to PlayStation. It is my holy grail. So he doesn't question it anymore. It even has vintage TV video games from Super Mario to others. His elder sister, Trisha, 38 female, and her 2 kids, 12 female and 10 male, visited my house with him. Trisha has always been passive aggressive towards me. I feel she looks down upon my background, but she has never been direct. I showed her around my duplex and she made comments ranging from my wall decorations to furniture. I let it go. When her kids saw my room, they asked me to let them play. I allowed them. Very nice of her kids to ask. The moment she started leaving, the kids asked me to give them some of my car and doll collection and my vintage Super Mario. I refused. Jack and Trisha said to me that I am old enough for all of this and should just give some of them to the kids who are going to be my family. I still refused.
Hey, you know what's crazy is that all this stuff I have, you know, they're not one of a kind. You can actually go get this stuff yourself.
Go get them. This is my stuff.
You can also buy like a cheap emulator from, Amazon that'll give you 500 Atari games for like $20.
I really don't understand people's I don't understand people's entitlement to these things. I mean, I'm sorry, even if it was
the money, that's why.
Yeah.
You make more money than me, so
fine.
you should just give me this stuff.
You should just give it to me. She left in a hurry with her kids, who started crying after I refused. Jack and I had a huge fight afterward. No, we don't live together, but hang out together often at each other's places. He told me to grow up, and I told him these collections are my childhood dreams, envy that I have, and I am never sharing them with anyone else besides my kids. I told him that when we marry, I will gift to his family members on occasions. But these are my private collections, aren't up for discussion. Now he's giving me the cold shoulder. I didn't mean to make the kids cry, but even as a kid, I was taught by my parents not to demand things at other people's homes, even when we were poor. Rebecca is on my side too, but my brother says that I'm doing the same as other kids did to us, including our cousins. How? But I don't see it as the same. Trisha and her husband are well-to-do. Also, we are meeting today, and I will tell him the difference is in our growing up and why these toys matter to me. I don't like to talk about my childhood much, but I hope this might open his eyes. Am I the a-hole? And there are some relevant comments.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
This is absurd.
Like this is your brother's girlfriend, and you're like, give me your stuff. Give your stuff to my kids.
You don't even have to explain your childhood.
No.
You can just explain how
This is
simple
my stuff.
buying and owning works.
This is my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get it.
So there's money, right? I have money. I spend money on things. They belong to me. You have money. You can spend it on things.
And then they belong to you. Blonde1 PSP says, not the a-hole, but you might need to rethink your relationship with your boyfriend. I'm 56 and I have a doll collection. My husband never told me to grow up or disrespected me over it. Jack and Trisha should know it's rude to ask another person for their things or collectibles, because besides, it's not 100% a certainty that those kids will be family. Now is it? OP says, yep, today we're meeting and I'm going to open up my whole childhood to him and how he won't get it because he was raised in upper middle class home. He isn't a bad person and very compassionate, volunteers at animal shelters, etc. I just don't like to open up about my childhood as it triggers my bad days, but it might be a game changer for our relationship. Darkness Beyond says, not the a-hole, but why do you want to be with someone who doesn't stand up for you when his family crosses boundaries and doesn't support what makes you happy? Betty Snoots and Poops. I would be afraid if he would do something vindictive after marriage, like give them away or sell them. Something tells me he thinks OP will give up the hobby after they're married and living together. Like she won't be allowed to have it anymore. OP says, nah, I'm not a doormat, but I believe in working around the relationship. We have been together for 2 years. This is the only time we fought like this. We will discuss it, and if we don't reach common ground, then yes, I will end it if he fails to understand. And there is an update. Any thoughts before we dive in?
How does you're getting engaged?
Yeah.
How does this guy not already know about your childhood?
I know. I was wondering about that.
Why are we going to get married to people who don't know us?
Yeah.
Right. That doesn't sound right.
And
so
also,
outside of everything else, that's all I'm going to say.
And also, he doesn't really need to understand that whole backstory to know that he can't take this stuff.
Right. He should also understand
Yeah.
what's mine is mine. And if they really want that, guess what? Maybe I'll use a little bit of my money. I'll buy them a copy.
Sure. Update. So that day, Jack and I planned to have a meeting, but sometime before our meeting, he called me and he was very emotional. He apologized and told his mother, Riley, indeed put some senses inside his brain. He asked my permission to bring his mom and Trisha. I accepted it. When they arrived, Riley simply asked me to narrate the whole thing. I told her everything about how Trisha and her kids demanded my toys. I told her about the sentimental value of those toys. I told her about passive-aggressive comments of Trisha and how I felt Jack never supported me. Trisha tried to shout, but her mother stopped her and the verbal lashing that she gave to both Jack and Trisha for the next minutes. I wish I could be so confrontational. She told Trisha to discipline her kids and told her that I'm going to be her sister-in-law and she needed to change her way if she ever wants a relationship in the future, because I'm going to be family and her daughter-in-law.
Huge W mother-in-law.
She said, I didn't raise you like this.
Yes.
Jack was emotional and apologized. He said he realized now the importance of all this. I told him I might forgive him, but not forget this. He asked me for a chance, so we're going to therapy. Riley told him that I'm a wonderful person and he should learn to value me more. Jack also told Trisha that her hateful comments won't pass again, and that if he ever sees her putting me down, he will break contact with her. Trisha, well, that doesn't make sense. He will go no contact with her. Trisha apologized, but I could see it wasn't from the heart. I told her we need a break and I won't allow her and her kids at my home for some time. After that, Riley ended it and she and Trisha left. By the way, you should never leave us because you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story. What say you?
Yeah, W mom, W mother-in-law.
Dubs in the chat for the mom.
Still same point of like, whatever, all the entitlement, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah,
Why
blah.
doesn't your husband know about your childhood, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone has some degree of like stuff that is not spoken or that they don't know about each other, even as like husband, wife, whatever. But it's like just the basic, like, hey, here's how I grew up.
I
feel like you should know that before you marry somebody.
I mean, I could be reading into it too much, but I think that maybe OP was implying that she had said, like, I grew up poor or something like that, but hadn't really gone into the depth of it, which still should be something that you should go into.
Yeah, it's
like a
it's
partner
less of
about,
like
yeah.
a like you need a checklist of like, all right, we've talked about that, we've talked about
Yeah,
that.
it's just like talk about the important moments in your life.
Baseline of
That made
a
you who you are.
closeness and an understanding of somebody to be now married for the rest of your life.
I also think there are a lot of moments when you are getting into a relationship, when you're like starting in that first kind of initial times, as you deepen your bond, where you start to have those conversations and they just kind of come up. You just like start, like it's like late at night and you're just kind of talking, and then it comes up that like, I don't know, your parents got divorced, or like like all of the like the trauma things come up.
It'll happen.
Riley and I were always nice to each other, but not close. This incident has brought us closer, and we talked today on a call for 30 minutes. Jack is staying with me and has apologized a lot since. We booked couples therapy and a wedding plan is still on. Thanks everyone for feedback. I know many told me to break up, and I appreciate it. Jack has been wonderful to me in many other ways. This was a road bump, which we overcame, and I believe in working around the relationship. Still, I respect all the feedback. Take care? Question mark? Question mark? Numerous look 9846. It's great that your mother-in-law supports you 100%, but I don't know about Trisha. If she comes back to your house with her children, put your collection under lock and key if that's possible. You're not safe from one of the two children trying to steal something from you, and given Trisha's behavior, she would be capable of saying nothing about it. OP says, I have locks in every door and she isn't entering it anytime soon. I will even install a camera there. Apprehensive State 28 says none of this matters because you will never be able to trust Jack. You should walk away from this family. They do not deserve you. I feel like that's a little bit harsh. I feel like we've kind of figured it out.
Yeah, so maybe a little overboard there.
Opie says, I won't let one incident affect 2 years of a relationship where he helped me, my family, in many ways, which are irrelevant to this topic. He surely would have to earn my trust back, but I love him and we're starting the process. And Opie says, we're supposed to marry in December. We live nearby and shift either at mine or his house. I will never be a doormat. And even if he is pulling an act, which I don't think he is, I will never let him walk over me. And that is the end of that story. Yeah, just keep an eye on him, I suppose.
My mother-in-law snuck inside our home and then called the authorities on us?
Oh, she's a burglar.
Who's calling the cops on you? Wow. Hello. So I will try to make this as short as possible. I'm a bit confused as to how I should continue this relationship. First of all, I'm male. Good to know.
Nice. Big.
My wife is 50-50 split between having her head deep up her brother's butt and not wanting to have anything to do with her. It's complicated. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So my relationship with my mother-in-law was always awkward. She didn't want her precious daughter to leave home and build her own family, so she's always trying to shackle my wife as close to her as possible and used every possible trick up her sleeve to achieve exactly that.
Yeah, she sounds manipulative.
Oh yes, we've got our usual host of characters here, from fake illnesses to emotional stirrups to last second unnoticed vacations. We had to come on. That's the whole gang's here.
We love that gang.
All of our manipulation friends.
Yeah, I know. It's like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
But of manipulation.
Oh God. Fake illness, surprise vacation. And my wife until now had never grasped that what her mother was doing was wrong. So around 6 months ago, mother-in-law and father-in-law bought a new house, a smaller one, as they didn't need all that space at their old home. At first, I personally wasn't interested in that house, but somehow my mother-in-law convinced my wife to convince me to buy the house from them so we could buy cheap and live with one less worry. So I guess it was like buying the mother-in-law's house, but also at a deal. But I'm guessing ultimately not the best option, but maybe a cheaper house.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
We'll see. I was completely against the purchase of the house. Okay, so probably not that great. It was incredibly close to their new home, 30 minutes walking distance, and the amount they asked for, $450,000, was not justified for the state that the house was in. Long story short, my wife got extremely upset with me for not wanting the house, and I just gave up and said yes.
That is okay. I mean, a house is such a huge purchase. You should not just give in. That should be a heck yes from both people.
Yeah, dude. Whew, my goodness. So yay, we own a house now.
Oh, God.
I can feel the enthusiasm from the page.
Excitement is dripping from this post.
For context, we got the keys, documents, and everything is on paper. Nothing is in their name anymore. It's all us now, okay? And for the past few months of us moving in, renovating a bit here and there, all seemed well. They never came to visit. We always visited them, and the house was fine after some work. Still a lot to fix, though. But I noticed a few things. Whenever we were gone for more than 8+ hours or a few days and then returned home, it seemed like someone had been inside.
Uh-oh, little gremlins running about. We got
Put
a
an
little, yeah, ICU.
ICU in the chat.
It's such a big ICU.
This is my house. I raised the kids in this house. I raised you in this house.
Ugh.
Oh my goodness. Well,
I don't care if you paid $400,000 for it.
Yeah. I paid
mine.
$500,000, Mom. So get out of my house.
No, blood, sweat,
get off
tears,
my lawn.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I raised you, and that's worth $1 million. So, yeah.
You owe me.
Yeah. Give me another $500,000. Give it to me now. I could have sworn that some of my stuff was moved. A few times it smelled like gas, as if someone had left something running in the kitchen, and the sink in one of the bathrooms was wet, even though I wipe it dry after using it. Okay. Weird flex, but okay. Even my wife found it odd, and after the gas incident, she was alarmed, of course. So I figured mother-in-law probably had a key still in her possession that we didn't know about and was snooping around. I bought 2 cheap cameras and installed them so I could see the entrance. That's very smart. In the living room, as those 2 areas are connected.
I can't wait for this person to be caught. I can't wait.
It's going to be so delicious. As someone suggested on here, I also changed out the locks by buying completely new secure doors and having them replaced, as well as adding new window security since all of those were old.
Okay.
2 days after everything was changed, I got a text from mother-in-law saying that I was an evil person trying to destroy everything she loves.
What? Keeping random strangers, random strange people, random strange family out of my house is a bad idea?
You destroy with your cameras and your fancy
Your
locks. How dare you have privacy in the home you paid $500,000 for? How dare you? And that she wants the house back from us because she isn't tolerating how we're treating her old property. Yeah, just give it back.
I'm locking it.
Just give it
That's
back.
allowed.
Nope.
And let me keep the $500K.
Give it back to me right now. It's mine. What are you doing?
Ridiculous.
You're disrespecting me.
You're disrespecting my domain.
Well, back to the story. I asked her where this was coming from all of a sudden, and her answer was, "You're destroying our old home. The door was a precious memento, and you shouldn't have changed it without asking me first."
The door, really?
It's a lock,
Yeah.
and he paid you $500,000 for it. My God. I told her that the house was no longer hers, and we could do whatever we wanted.
Boom, boom,
That's
boom, boom.
it. Point blank, period. I didn't hear back from her until now. She now wants her house back because apparently we're not fit to be homeowners. She's offering to give us back $430,000 out of the $450,000 since they already spent $20,000 and wants everything back. I told her to eat grass.
Yep.
And that the home is now ours.
Yep. There we go.
OP was like strong-armed into buying the stupid thing in the first place.
Yeah, and now you want to take a loss for $20,000? No.
No, and they've been renovating it and like
Yeah, they've
just
been putting money in.
hassle. Oh,
It doesn't make any sense.
absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
I already had the police at my door. All right, so now,
Wait, Mom called the police?
yes. So here's what happened.
Oh
Right,
my God.
quick TLDR, just to clear it up. Right, OP's mother-in-law is just kind of sucks. Her mother-in-law and the daughter, OP's wife, strong-armed him into buying their old house for $450,000. He changes the locks, gets security cameras. She's freaking out, saying, "Oh, you need to let me in. You need to stop changing the house." Now, not only have the police been called on OP for his, atrocities, for his crimes, they're now at his doorstep, presumably, potentially ready to arrest.
I
What?
hate this. I hate for buying a home
For
living it for changing the locks.
Yeah, for changing the locks on the home I legally own. Arrest me.
I hate that people
Take
can just
me away.
call the police on you.
Right?
Like you could just do that.
Where's the checks
Where's
and balances?
due process?
Oh my God. Okay. So, can you imagine what it looked like for me to explain that this house was legally mine? They effing laughed. Thank God.
Ugh.
And the worst part, my wife says to just put the old door back in. The wife is still siding with the mom.
How are you rocking with Mama after all this?
Honestly?
But maybe like the wife is like, hey, like it's not worth all of the craziness. We can just change the lock, but have this old memento door just to make Mom happy.
Maybe, but I'm like, it's
what is it? Yeah, there's a point where you got to say no.
Yeah, you got to be like, yo, Mom, if you don't stop going bananas, I'm going to have to put you in timeout.
Yep.
I'm going to have to put you in timeout.
iPhone lock screen method.
Holy moly. So I don't get my mother-in-law. That I'm okay with. But I don't get how my wife can be so deep in her BS. If it were up to me, I would go no contact and leave it at that. But my wife is just glued to her.
Yeah.
I can't even enjoy our marriage anymore. Wow.
Oh.
It doesn't feel like her and me. It feels like her, me, and her bat crap crazy mother.
I think that if you feel like that, you should tell your wife that.
1,000%, because think about this, like, and again, OP shouldn't have gone along with it, but it's like OP bought this house he didn't want to because of all the pressure.
He's feeling pressure.
He's feeling pressure, which is not fair. Shouldn't have feel that pressure. Father-in-law is all right, just a normal person, most of the time fed up with mother-in-law's BS too, but he can't be bothered to actually hold her back. Yeah, bro, he's probably got his hands full just dealing with her.
She seems like a Rottweiler.
Oh my God, yeah.
Biting at the freaking bit.
Yeah, it's all you can do just to not get bit yourself.
Yeah.
You know, let alone help prevent it from biting
You're
others.
like, oh.
I'm stressed, angry, and really disappointed. Advice, please. And we have an update. But what's our advice?
I think advice is talk to your wife about what you're feeling and that you feel like you're kind of being displaced in your own marriage by her mother.
Yes.
And I think just say that's what you're feeling. Say how you're feeling. See how she responds. If there's no action taken from that, then you might need to have a harder conversation where like, hey, like I still feel like this is not addressed and I don't know if this is a relationship that I want to be. I feel like you can stair step towards leaving the relationship if it continues. But if your wife doesn't make some changes in terms of where her, I guess where her time and affection are, I don't know if this relationship can last.
I agree. I think it's too much, but we got an update. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to see if the relationship lasts. So quite a lot happened since yesterday. I stopped answering most comments as I was taking in everyone's advice, thoughts, and experiences. First, some info again. Some people are concerned that dropping off the door would mean she would copy the keys. Not possible, as both the door and locks are replaced with high security keys. I know a locksmith could still duplicate them, but that would take some time. Some are worried about birth control. Don't worry, I can't even think of spicy sleep right now. Oh my goodness.
Wait, what?
I'm guessing like baby trapping. Like is the mother-in-law like, you know, tampering with birth control, like baby, I don't even know, trying to get a grandkid.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past her. She seems
like
crazy.
going into the house
Yep.
and poking holes in the. We've seen this before.
We've seen
this before
happen. We've seen some crazy mother-in-laws,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen. Concerning security, no, I did not catch my mother-in-law on camera. I installed them in conjunction with changing the doors and locks, and I don't see a point in spending money on more cameras, video doorbells, etc. Some asked if mother-in-law had more children. Nope. Single child. So it's just the wife. I paid the entire $450,000. Oh, okay. My wife didn't pay for the house renovations. Nothing. She bounces from one job to another, trying to find something fitting. This has always been the case. I don't mind supporting her, but I feel a bit leashed off sometimes.
I think we're revealing like more and more problems in this relationship.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that OP, and look, it's totally fine if there's a person in a relationship that wants to, you know, financially provide for their partner as like part of their partnership. Absolutely fine. Great. Mazel tov, more power to you. But I don't know, just like generally like imagining just like all of this weight is on OP and they strong-armed him to buy this house.
Yeah.
Feels so icky.
It feels real. Yeah,
gross.
Dude. I feel like he's being taken advantage of.
So taken advantage of.
And I feel like taking advantage of in union between wife and mom. I feel like wife and mom are like, let's like suck this guy dry and not in the way we want.
I hate it. Oh God. But we have the actual update now. So that was just the background context. Okay. I called father-in-law and asked him if he would meet me for coffee because I wanted to talk. Bless him. He did exactly that. We sat down. I asked him to please just listen and not interrupt. I must have talked for close to 2 hours. That man sipped his coffee, listened, sighed, and said the following in short. Mother-in-law's plan was to sell us the house, rebuy it, make us literally homeless so he couldn't say no to her offer, and we would end up living with her and father-in-law.
What?
Oh my God. Father-in-law did try to hold mother-in-law back, but failed. He was extremely upset about the police call, upset about only offering $430K back, and upset in general that she's going this far to shackle her daughter. She says, remember in the beginning, there was the bit about like, oh, she didn't want her daughter away from her. So I think maybe this is one of her like crazy obsessions. Like, my daughter, you're taking her away.
I do not like this at all.
Put her back in her childhood home. Then I'm going to have the home and I'm going to take care of her. Oh, his offer and advice, take mother-in-law's $430K offer. He will set up a legally binding contract under father-in-law and myself, personally, the two of us, and he will give me the $20K plus what I put into renovations, etc., without mother-in-law knowing, and that would bring me close to $500,000.
Okay.
He told me to pack it up and just leave after a stern talk with my wife. He said she won't wake up as long as one of us is in close proximity. Is he saying to divorce his daughter?
I think so. Whoa. Man is giving it to him straight.
My man put the the unobjective. Or
I feel like
objective.
he's just been so beaten down by being married to this crazy woman. He's like, kid, let me tell you to it straight. I've been through this crap for 20 goddamn years.
He doesn't want to see another person go through it. I mean, wow, dude. I mean, salute. He looked sad and upset. We hugged at the end, and he told me not to be too saddened by all of this. Sometimes we need to make hard decisions, and he said I would regret it if I didn't do this. Wow. There was more talk, obviously, but this is the short and interesting part. Back home, I talked with my wife in a more calm tone and manner. She didn't see any evil from her mother, said her mother needs a lot of attention and love like most elderly ladies, and that often she sounds meaner than she actually is, but only wants the best for us. No, she wants the best for her and her own intentions only. Yeah. We argue back and forth. My wife is 100% behind her mother.
Yikes.
There's your answer.
Yep.
There's your answer.
I don't know, dude. This is not a relationship between them. It's like mom and your wife,
right?
And then you over there.
But you want some icing on the cake, Sam?
What's the icing?
She said I should get some therapy to get out of this obsession I have with demonizing her mother.
Oh, please get out of here.
OP needs some therapy.
Ridiculous. That makes me so mad. That makes me mad. Ridiculous.
I stood up and left. Good. I slept at a friend's that night. I offered couples and individual counseling. It was denied. Apparently, I'm the only one that needs special attention, as she called it. And I guess that's exactly what I need. Special attention by myself and for myself.
Amen.
That's right, brother. By the way, if you want to hear some stories of standing up and gosh darn it, living your best life.
We want you to live your best life always.
And, have some fun and laughs while listening. Go to Spotify, Apple, or iHeart Podcast, search OK Storytime, and listen to some amazing content, ladies and gentlemen. But we've got the conclusion to the story.
Let's hit it.
I've already messaged father-in-law. It's not worth it. I think the marriage, not the marriage. The house deal. I was confused at first. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to listen and support someone you don't even know. I might take this homeless opportunity and money to get out a bit, explore, and breathe freely for once.
I mean, I do feel like OP is going to be in a better place. This sounds like craziness that needs to be avoided and left.
And W father-in-law, dude, he broke OP out of the matrix.
I was not expecting that from father-in-law. Seeing that he's still married to the mother-in-law.
He's like, I might be stuck in this matrix forever, but gosh dang it, if I don't get you out of this matrix myself, if it's the last thing I do.
Yeah, W father-in-law, that's awesome. But my brother-in-law is overstaying his welcome. It ruined my marriage.
Kick him out.
So first post, bear with me. About a year ago, my 28 female and my husband, 30 male, allowed my brother-in-law, 19 male, to move in with us to get him out of a rough situation and help him start adulting. This was about May of last year. I agreed to have him move in with the promise from brother-in-law and husband that it was only going to be a couple of months until brother-in-law found a roommate to move out with. Put ICUs in the chat. It's not going to be a couple months.
Throw him in there.
No. By the way, this comes from Cold Bowl of Nothing. If you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So he is also to pay some rent monthly as he has a full-time job now, keep his area clean, and keep up around the house. Keep in mind, I have 2 children under the age of 5 and also work, and I'm still the housekeeper, cleaning, cooking, food, etc. While my husband also works 60 hours a week. Fast forward those couple months, no luck on finding a roommate. Brother-in-law still living with us. Okay, he's young. I'm just going to give him some more time to figure this out. I'm trying to be understanding and gracious, as I also had some help getting on my feet at this age, and I've confronted brother-in-law a few times asking, so how's the roommate search going?
Yep.
You found an apartment yet? Only to be answered with shrugs like, I don't know. I will say at this point, I'm starting to feel in the dark with what is actually going on. As in, is there even a plan of him moving out? Maybe I think you should sit him down and say, present me with a plan. If you want to keep living here, I want to see your plan of how you're going to not be living here.
Yes.
Because right now it seems like your plan is to keep living here, which was not my plan when you said your plan was to move out.
Not the plan.
Not the plan.
Not the plan.
Is he even looking for a roommate or an apartment? Husband says just give him more time and that he's working working on it. Frustrated, it's Christmas time now, and he's requested to have his girlfriend of 2 years who lives out of state to move in too, with the promise that she has a job and they will move out in 1 month.
No.
If you can move out in 1 month, do that.
Just do it.
Do that and live with your girlfriend.
Just do it. She's got
dual
a job.
income now.
Come on.
You can afford it. I tell my husband that I'm not comfortable with it, as brother-in-law was not supposed to be here at this time in the first place. Husband says I'm overreacting and starts making comments of making me sound like I don't care about his family. It's that I care about people telling the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not lying to my face directly into my eyes and saying I'm moving out while you're just moving in. You're moving more people in fact.
So complete disregard of OP's wants, for what this is her house too.
A pattern of disrespect. Angry, I just shut down and keep my mouth shut to avoid the argument. My next mistake. Girlfriend moves in.
Oh no, what?
How did this happen? And surprise, surprise, doesn't have a job. Claims she's been looking for one. To be fair, it's hard finding a job as a young person these days. Not as easy as it was. So, some sympathy goes out to those to finding a job. I'm sure some of you might know it's hard. It's hard finding a job, especially as the ladder's being cut off at the bottom. You need like 30 years of experience to wait tables at Red Lobster these days. It's insane.
But not in my house.
Not in my house.
You're not doing that in my house. You're not
up in here.
Not today, not tomorrow, not forever.
Yeah, I don't know. Sign up for the army. They'll take anyone. And she's been looking for 3 months now since living under my roof. Fast forward to now. Rent is not being paid anymore. The cleaning of their own areas have stopped.
Oh no.
It's full anarchy, mutiny. And there has been absolutely no trying to find a way to move out of my home. I've quit asking brother-in-law questions to keep myself from being furious and directed the questions towards my husband. At this point, I'm done trusting that my husband has any plan or control in this whole situation, which is driving me insane.
Yeah.
Anytime I bring it up to my husband, I'm met with hostility and accusations of just wanting to throw his family out on the street. It's been so many more months than we've said.
Dude, so many more.
And I shouldn't be upset with this because I agreed to it. Agreed to what? We agree. It's like
she agreed to originally letting the brother-in-law in, and then I guess was somehow coerced into letting the girlfriend move in.
It's like your friend like, hey dude, can you spot me $5? And then you're like, yeah, sure. And then you find your bank account cleared and you're like, what the heck? Who stole my money? It's like, oh no, I took it. And you're like, you said you only wanted $5. I'm like, oh, but you said I could have your money. It's like, I know, I said you could have $5, not the whole bank account. This is that. This is that.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
Agreed to what? Yes, I agreed to brother-in-law moving in for a couple months. Yes, I graciously gave him extra time to figure things out. At this point, I no longer feel comfortable in my own home, and every day, me and my husband argue about it, which always turns into very ugly outcomes. We don't even sleep in the same bed anymore. The brother-in-law is sleeping in that bed now. I'm annoyed that I've been conned into taking on 2 grown adults while trying to raise my own family. I'm angry that I'm being made out to be the bad guy when all I wanted to do was be helpful. I don't know what to do anymore. I guess my main question to the Reddit world is, am I the a-hole because I let all this happen in the first place? No.
Nope.
You are not the a-hole. Your husband kind of is an a-hole.
Dude.
The brother-in-law and the girlfriend are definitely a-holes. You are a victim of circumstance, OP, and I am sorry.
What is ultimately? This is like super on husband.
Super on husband.
Super on husband, because
I mean it's his brother.
It's his brother. He was the one that kind of like allowed it to happen. This is not an excuse at all in the slightest. His cousin, the brother-in-law, he is 19, so he is young.
He's young.
Not an excuse to do what he's doing, but it's ultimately on the husband to now fix the problem because he started it.
Yeah, agreed. If there's not communication that happens soon, I feel like we're a little doomed.
I would say so. And
doomed.
honestly, if husband continues to act like this, maybe doomed for the better.
Top comments. It is your fault. What? You allowed yourself to get into this situation because you have no spine, no backbone, and you're allowing yourself to be treated like a welcome mat. You need an adult meeting with the 4 of you. You need a timeline of when these adults are leaving your home. If your husband doesn't support this, you need a timeline of when you're removing yourself and your children from this environment. You need to follow through. You're not the a-hole though. This is like a-hole to self, but
Okay.
OP responds,
yeah.
thank you for your honesty.
Uh-huh.
I do feel it's my fault for allowing it to go this far without any real action on my part. I guess this is a learning opportunity for me to not internalize my feelings until it's too late. Commenter 2 says, not the a-hole. But that sounds like a terrible situation. Something you may not have considered is if a girlfriend and brother-in-law go the legal route, because they have been there that long, they could actually fight being evicted.
So right.
Your husband is the a-hole in this case. Tell him he has to clean up their area, make their dinner, etc. Any food they eat should come out of his spending money. In Compter 3, you have a husband problem. Get into marriage counseling, find alternate housing for you and the kid now. If counseling doesn't work, take your kids and visit family or friends for a couple weeks and let him sort it out with his brother, and then tell him the condition that you will return home is when they are gone, or you won't return and you can divorce. And another commenter says, not the a-hole. You effectively were a doormat for your scheming, conniving husband. Either take the kids and split or throw your husband and freeloaders out. If you don't, you'll be in the exact same position 10 years from now. There's an update the next day.
Wow.
Update the next day.
This went from kind of 0 to 1,000, if I do say so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously these comments are being harsh. I do feel it is a little bit on the husband to help, but at a certain point, OP has to take it in their own hands and be like, hey, I'm not going to accept this anymore. Even if the husband doesn't help, I'm going to dip.
It is, you could say it's like the husband's faults maybe, but ultimately OP has the responsibility or the ability to.
Responsibility to herself and her kids.
Is yourself. Yep.
But we got an update the next day.
Oh.
First, I would like to say thank you all for the different perspectives. Most of all, the responses said I should just punt all three of them out and say good riddance. I will say some of the responses gave me a good little laugh in this extremely frustrating situation, so thank you for that too. Taking everything into consideration, I gave my husband an ultimatum last night, and I'm sticking to it. They need to be gone by June 1st with all rent paid according to how I had laid it out, or else I'm moving out with the kids into an apartment. I'm also not cooking for them, just enough for me and the kids. All laundry detergents, toiletries will be kept in my closet, and internet passwords will be changed. Now, before I get 2 months is too much time for them, hear me out. I think 2 months is a good amount of time.
Yeah,
this is also
fair.
time for me to get my ducks in a row should I actually be moving out, which in theory I'll know by mid-May if they aren't moving out, if they don't have anything lined up by then. I really do doubt my husband is wanting this to actually happen, me and the kids moving out, but I wouldn't put it past him thinking that I'm bluffing. All in all, I would hope it doesn't have to come to that point. I'm happy to learn though, after sketching a quick budget, that I would be able to support me and both my children with my own income if worse came to worse. Thanks again. We have some relevant comments. We got some updates. But yeah, what do we think about this?
I think that OP is making a smart decision. I think that OP is figuring out, okay, can we, am I able to financially support my family? Basically being like, hey guys, you can't just reload and essentially face no consequences. Yeah, I like this plan. Also knowing that squatters' rights might be a thing. It's like, hey, let me just make it not easy and ideal to just stay here and continue mooching.
Yeah, and you want to give young kids, especially family, time to get on their feet, but too much time can coddle someone into never gaining the scale of independence.
Yeah,
and I think we're doing a disservice not only to yourself and your family, but to these kids. They're just suckling on the teat, never knowing how to fend for themselves.
Yeah, and I will say it really does suck for OP because it's what you're saying, you want to give them a chance to be able to learn and figure it out. They're 19, they're just starting life. Unfortunately, OP has to, deal with this 60 more days, which is not fun at all. But it at least kind of hits that equilibrium where it's okay, there is an end in sight.
Yeah.
For OP.
We have some relevant comments.
Let's get into it.
What did OP's husband say after she told him? OP responds, he was surprisingly not as hostile as he usually has been. I say not as because there was no yelling or swearing. He pretty much said I was overreacting and crazy to think that would need to happen in the first place since they'll be out by then. If you could see my eye roll right now, shaking my head. And another commenter says, yeah, he doesn't believe you have any intention of actually leaving. I will let him know if you leave, there will be no reconciling and you will divorce and demand the house to be sold. So one way or another, they will be moving out. I feel like that maybe is a little bit too vindictive. OP responds, I do see what you're saying because I thought about how to go about selling the house if I leave. I will be honest and say that at this exact moment, I'm not looking for divorce. I'm willing to give him the opportunity to at least salvage the mess he created. I think that's a good move. Unfortunately, it might just take me a stepping out to realize where he messed up. On the other hand, if it does turn to divorce, at least I'll already have me and the kids established in a new place. And another commenter says, based on how your husband has dealt with the situation, I hope he is not calling your bluff, but be ready. Good luck. And commenter 3 says, I think your husband thinks you're bluffing and he'll try and con you again. He might say they'll move out and then guilt you for another 2 months. And then sometime in May, they'll tell you that they need just a little more time. Be prepared for more bargaining and guilt tripping. Do not negotiate with them. I wish you luck. I hope your husband chooses well, not the a-hole. Finally, not the a-hole. Before the update, I suggest 2 other things to help motivate your husband and show him how serious you are. Get an attorney to prepare a legal separation document. In this document, make sure you have sole discretion for making moves for your new children. And moving out is not just living in an apartment. It also means you have to be responsible in case your kids are sick. Second thing is to prepare a demand letter for the back rent. Both these documents are intended to show your husband that his lack of action is the reason your marriage is failing. He needs to understand how serious this is, and it is not an empty threat. You're already sleeping in separate rooms. I can't imagine how dumb he is and why he's not treating you/your children as more important than his brother and girlfriend.
Truly.
His priorities are all screwed up. Good luck. And another edit. Do this now. Don't wait until June. The objective is to avoid moving out, so this will motivate your husband. But meanwhile, keep looking for a new apartment just in case. And actually, that is the end of this story. I do think it is important to communicate that OP is serious.
Yeah.
I don't think it is necessarily a good idea to go straight to divorce. I think you move out and then that's a big step back, obviously.
Yeah.
And you can continue taking steps back if things aren't moving in the direction that you need. But it just feels like there's been no movement in the husband to help.
Zero. Yeah, it's
Zero.
like I like the general idea of like finding something like, I don't know, a lease agreement that, or like, oh, I've been accepted apartment application, something like that, to at least hopefully get it through to him that like, hey, I am not enjoying this. I am serious about like wanting to do these things. Here is the warning.
Yeah.
As clear as it can be. But yeah, bro's just not getting it.
My family is unsupportive of my marriage because I can't get married before my siblings.
Gotta wait in line. It's just how it works.
There are rules. I, 23 female, have always been the black sheep of my family. Growing up, I was treated like a servant and always felt unwanted. My family constantly belittled me, and I always felt like I didn't belong. By the way, this comes from user NoCrazy4544, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, a year ago, I met my now husband, 26 male, at the gym. He asked for my number, but I made it clear I don't date casually. I date to find a life partner. I told him up front that I don't flirt or have casual relationships, and I don't believe in spice asleep before marriage. I also explained my process. We would go on a couple dates to discuss important topics like family, future goals, children, and our likes and dislikes in a person. Then, if we both felt aligned, he would then ask my family for my hand in marriage. He respected my values, so I gave him my number. After a few months of dating and deep conversations, we both knew we wanted to get married. He asked when he could come to ask my family for my hand. Since I don't have a good relationship with my dad, who lives in my home country, we barely talk, I told him I'd speak to my mom to arrange something. When I told her, she was furious. She said, "You're the youngest in the family. You can't marry before your siblings. It's embarrassing for them." My siblings agreed, saying I needed to wait a few years. I refused. This was my life, and their embarrassment wasn't my problem. My mom told me I won't allow this marriage and insulted me, calling me names, and how I never listen. Despite this, I told my now husband everything, and he supported me. He suggested we go to my home country so he can ask for my dad for his blessing instead. I told him I wasn't really comfortable with that right now, and it's also very unnecessary. So we agreed on just calling him instead. A few days later, we met at a cafe in the evening to call my dad. Although I was nervous, my dad didn't seem to care much and gave his approval. I told my mom the next day what my dad said, but she was still angry, saying, "You're not marrying him now. You have to wait." She insulted me again, wishing she'd never had me.
Whoa.
And I couldn't take it anymore and left the house to clear my head.
That's big words coming from mom.
I say, ah, la, 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 I'm not listening.
Yeah.
I'm not listening.
What?
What are we talking about? Also, Dad's like, I don't even care. Marry a stick. Marry a rock.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, probably on the same level of bad.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I was going to be like, I guess it's a little better, but I thought about it. I was like, no, it's just as bad as being told, like, you can't marry.
Yeah. It's
Just
like,
dad.
I just don't care about who you marry. It's like, well.
Yeah,
would
you're
you,
getting
like,
married? Why are you
Yeah.
calling me?
Yeah.
It's like-
Yeah.
You okay?
Kind of big news.
All right. Well, yeah, get married to whoever you want. I don't care. I called my now husband, and although he was busy at work, he made time for me. He suggested we have dinner that evening to talk. During the dinner, he reassured me, saying, it doesn't matter what your family thinks. If you want to marry me, let's do it and have the wedding. We started planning our wedding, which my family didn't know about. Secret wedding. A few weeks later, my sister found out and told my mom, sparking another fight. My mom called me names and nearly removed me from the house. When I told my now husband, he suggested we rent an apartment for me to move into early alone, instead of waiting until we get married. I didn't want to spend unnecessary money since he was already paying for his own apartment, but he insisted, saying he could handle it. He's quite wealthy, though my family didn't know this. Within a month or more, he found an apartment through someone he knew, and I moved in despite my mom trying to make me stay because this now meant I will spend more time with him, which she didn't want. Living on my own brought me peace. Ah, yes, it does. My now husband would usually visit for dinner to discuss wedding plans and other things, and everything was coming together. His family was incredibly supportive, especially his mom, who helped me with many details. When it came time to send invitations, his mom encouraged me to invite my family out of respect for yourself, as she put it. I did, but my family rejected the invitations, calling my wedding disgusting, shameful, and poor. La 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 la, I'm not listening.
What? The whole family is on board with this tradition?
And they're just like, yeah, and you're so mean. You're embarrassing us, so we're going to just
Yeah.
be brutally mean to you. Yeah.
I wonder what culture this is that, like, where this is a very strict tradition. Like, all of my siblings have to fall in love at the exact same age in the exact same order that they were born in.
Right. Yeah. The younger sibling getting married is embarrassing for the older sibling. It's like, what?
It's like, well, that's
What?
on you.
Yeah, it's on you, dude. The wedding day was beautiful. Everything I dreamed of. It was far from the small, cheap event my family had assumed it would be. The next day, I posted photos online, and suddenly, my family started calling and texting. They were shocked at how elegant and expensive the wedding looked. They demanded to know why I hadn't told them that the wedding will be quite big, and asked for my husband's number, clearly interested in his money, now knowing that he had some. I warned my husband not to give them a penny no matter what if they ever contacted him somehow. Before our honeymoon, I blocked them completely to ensure we wouldn't be disturbed. It's been a month and a half since the wedding, and I've never been happier. Cutting off my toxic family was the best decision I've ever made. My husband and I are building a beautiful life together, free from their negativity. Some people believe I'm wrong for cutting off my toxic family, but am I really? It's mostly relatives that tell me I'm wrong because family comes first before your partner. I just wanted to clear that up because some people had asked about it. Thank you so much, everyone, for the support. I really appreciate it. I never thought strangers would be better than your own blood, but hey, here we are. Anyways, thanks again. I unfortunately can't answer you all, but I'll just read them. I'll make sure to update you guys if anything happens. Wish you all the best. And there's an update.
Oh, boy. How we feeling? What are we thinking over there?
I'm collecting thoughts.
I still don't understand why the whole family is like mad about this. I feel like this is only now an issue of like the relationship over the family because the family is so mad about this. Like, I feel like people just want to be like, hey, do what your family says so that we don't have problems anymore. And it's like, you guys have the problem. That's not on me to fix.
Right. You were the ones who have had an issue with me getting married. I never had that issue.
Yeah.
Here's an update, and it still honestly feels unreal to me. I can't believe I'm even writing this. It just doesn't seem possible that people would do something like this. Oh my God, what's it going to be? About a week ago, I was home alone watching a movie in the living room. My husband was out of town for a short work trip, just one night, so not far, and suddenly I hear loud banging on the front door. When I got closer, I recognized my mother's voice yelling along with one of my siblings. I immediately got scared and looked through the peephole, not daring to open the door. She screamed for me to let them in, but I didn't. And then came the threats and name calling, and it was terrifying and also very crazy. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
All of that, agreed. After about 10 minutes of them yelling with no response from me, I suddenly heard something smashing. I was confused at first, but when I looked through the peephole again, I saw them smashing the window of my husband's car.
Oh my gosh.
He has 2 cars, and he was using one of them that day. I was so shocked, I just froze, to be honest. I didn't even think to call anyone at first. I've never seen her like this, and even though she's been awful before, this felt like something else entirely. It was scary and chaotic, and once I heard them drove off, I called the police. I didn't even tell my husband right away because I didn't want to stress him while he was away and likely exhausted. The police arrived within minutes, and when I opened the door, they pointed out a note taped to it. The note went something like this. We know where you live now. You can't run from us forever. Sooner or later, you'll come back begging for forgiveness, but by then it'll be too late. We won't take you back after your husband leaves. I don't know why they think he'll leave me. We know where he works. We know he's on a work trip. Don't underestimate us. He can't protect you all the time, or is he even safe himself?
This is a threat. Just straight up a threat from her family.
Yeah, it reads like it was like cut out of the magazine.
Yeah.
Like the newspaper clippings.
Yeah.
Like they made you a ransom letter.
Oh my gosh.
I hope the police can take that and go, hey, so this is pretty clear evidence of threats against your safety and well-being.
Right. Because, like, they technically didn't say, like, I'm going to hurt you, but we know where you live. We know where you work. Are you even safe?
They're saying at any point we can get you.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Insane.
There was also a lot of name calling and personal threats. I was shaking so badly I could barely hold the paper at this point, and that's when I called my husband. He didn't answer right away, but when he did pick up, he immediately sensed something was wrong just from my voice. But thank God he was safe himself. I told him everything, and of course he wanted to come back right away. I told him not to. He'd already done a full day of work and driven 3 hours there, but of course he didn't listen. So he drove another 3 hours just to come back. He was going to come back the next day anyway. While he was on his way, the police collected the evidence and his parents came to pick me up. I stayed at their place for the night. I couldn't sleep at all, and I was wide awake until my husband arrived. And the moment he did, he didn't even check his car or go home. He came straight to me. Help, I love this man. And by the way, I'll help you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. All you have to do is go to Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts and search OK Storytime.
Do it.
That's all it takes.
All it takes.
And then you can listen to all of us. We do have a little bit more story left.
I'm shocked.
Keep that thing on you. Get a pepper spray. Get something that you can protect yourself with.
Yeah.
Because you've been threatened openly.
Yeah.
I hope that the rest of this story involves the police.
Yeah.
Getting involved in a way that matters.
Right. Get some good security systems going. What the heck? This is like so not where I thought the story was going to go.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
Didn't think it was going there.
No.
Crazy.
Yeah.
First thing the next morning, he contacted his lawyer. Now everything is being handled legally and we're filing a lawsuit. At this point, I don't even care about anything else. I just want these people completely out of our lives. But I'm not sure what we'll do about our house now. We don't want them to know where we live or where my husband works. We just moved in recently, but moving again feels impossible right now. And obviously we can't change his work location. Any suggestions on what we should do? And that's the end of that story.
My sister-in-law refuses to respect my wedding plans, so I removed her.
Control, Alt, Delete.
In my culture, the maid of honor and best man are supposed to be a married couple. Interesting. That seems hard to find. We don't have very many married friends, and we were close with my fiance's sister and her husband at the time, so we planned our bridal party, so it seemed obvious that we should ask them. They were very happy when we asked them and agreed to take on the role. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I have 6 total bridesmaids, including my fiance's older sister as well. I am purchasing all of the bridesmaids' dresses except for his 2 sisters, as they insisted that they want to buy their own so that they can get something very nice and expensive. I'm totally fine with this because our wedding is black tie and the other bridesmaids will be wearing elegant gowns as well. His sister, maid of honor, has become a huge pain in the butt as we got closer to the wedding. I know that she has been bullying my future husband because he is a pushover, but he is finally finding his voice to speak up and say no when it is appropriate. I'm going to list out all the things below so this post doesn't get too long. My parents are paying for the bulk of our wedding, but my fiance is taking care of the florist so we can do something very nice. She keeps telling me that she will plan the flowers with absolutely no experience because we shouldn't spend so much. She is aware that this is one thing that my fiance is paying for. She refuses to look at maid of honor gowns in the correct shade. I chose a deep red color for all of the bridal party gowns, and she keeps showing bright red options and trying to convince me that she could wear a different color because she is maid of honor. No, that's not correct.
I mean, doesn't that happen sometimes though?
Sometimes it can, but
Yeah.
if the bride doesn't want that, then
Well, of course, yes.
Yeah.
No. Let me be perfectly. Let
yeah,
me be clear.
How dare you bring that
The wedding is the
suggestion up?
wife's day.
Right.
Okay.
My cousin bought her dress first and showed my fiance's family. The sister said, "Oh, that's nice, but she is going to get something even better because she is maid of honor." She's bringing her husband and their children to my bachelorette because her 3-year-old can't sleep without her. She did not clear this with me prior, and I would have urged her to just stay home if it was going to be too difficult. I find this extremely strange. She invited them without asking. The oldest sister started dating someone 1 month ago, and our wedding is in 2 months. The middle sister told me that the oldest sister's new boyfriend, who we have never met, is going to be in our bridal party. I told her absolutely not, and she said, well, the older sister won't be in the wedding then. I told her that I'm fine with that. My fiance absolutely does not want the new boyfriend in his party and confronted the older sister about this. The oldest sister had no idea the middle one was even suggesting this, and she agreed that it would be weird to ask her new boyfriend to be in our bridal party. To be clear, he is still invited as a +1. He just won't be standing up at the altar with us. The middle sister and my fiance's mom told us that we are rude for not changing the bridal party to allow the new boyfriend.
Oh, you're rude?
Oh, so rude.
Why don't you go have your own wedding and you can invite him?
Yeah, exactly. I told the middle sister that we extended the dates of the bachelorette by 1 day if she would like to stay longer with us, prior to knowing that she was bringing her entire family. She let me know that her and the other sister planned to go bridesmaid dress shopping the same day we got back from the bachelorette. They never let me know about this shopping date, which is rude in my opinion, as I have made an effort to be inclusive with them by inviting them to be in the bridal party and to all of the events. My fiance called the oldest sister to let her know that it's not okay that they planned bridesmaid dress shopping without me, and they are not going to be picking their dresses without my approval. The oldest sister let him know that the date was not set in stone, and she agreed to change it so that I would be able to make it. I texted them as well, and the oldest sister agreed that we will all go together. However, the other sister never replied. Also, to add on, I have a wedding planner who is taking care of everything, and my mom's best friends planned my bridal shower, so there is really nothing for the bridal party to do besides show up. I have a hard time asking people to show up for me, so I'm not putting any pressure on anyone in the party. Everyone else has been great besides my one future sister-in-law. I just wanted to vent about burdening people in my life who are not interested. Thank you so much for your input if you have read this far. And congratulations to all of the other brides. And we do have an update. What do we think about this sister so far?
I just can't wait for her to not be involved in this.
Yeah, I really
and I'm it's so refreshing. I can't wait to experience it, but I know she's getting kicked out.
She's got to
If
be.
you don't get in line behind the general, let's make this about the military now.
Yeah,
The general of the wedding is the bride
absolutely.
and the groom.
We need no
and if
U.S.
you
Marshals.
go against their orders, you will be held in contempt
Yes,
in a military court.
absolutely.
It's not your day.
Yeah.
Freaking relax.
Relax.
And also, if you know, make your wedding whatever you want it to be. If you want someone to be your maid of honor and it's like they're not married, I don't care. Make them your maid of honor. Have a secret wedding. This is why I say secret wedding. Secret wedding. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like, would it be better to, have the cultural tradition and then have a terrible maid of honor, or ignore the tradition and have a great maid of honor? What do we want to do?
Come on, what are we doing?
We do have an update. So my bachelorette was this past weekend, and my future sisters-in-law attempted to make the weekend about themselves as usual. In addition to my fiance's middle sister bringing along her husband and the 2 kids, the oldest sister brought her new boyfriend and let us know at the last second. Oh, yes. Apparently, Her new boyfriend was coming along to keep the other sister's husband company since they were supposed to be away from the bachelorette events. I messaged both sisters when we started driving to Vegas, and I didn't hear back from them. I arrived at the hotel and let my fiance know our room number to pass along to his sister. And I later saw in his text that she responded to him right away. At this point, neither of them had communicated anything to me. I wanted everyone to meet in the main hotel room, which my other bridesmaids spent hours decorating, and because I had put together gift bags full of weekend essential items. They failed to show up early enough before dinner on the first night, so we just had to meet them in the lobby. They let us know that they would text us when they would be coming out with us after dinner. The rest of us went back to the main hotel room and waited for an hour before I texted them to see if they were coming. Apparently, they had decided not to come out because they were tired, although I'm assuming that they went out with their partners instead. The whole weekend continued like this, with them being non-responsive and not participating. I'm honestly not sure why they even came. Anyway, as I'm driving back from the bachelorette around 8 p.m. on Sunday night, the oldest sister calls me and lets me know that she's going bridesmaid dress shopping tomorrow at 11 a.m. She was like, yeah, I'll let you know. We can coordinate that. And then she's like, okay, in 8 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like, hey, by the way, I hope you're not busy in
yeah.
like a meal.
Yeah, exactly. I told her I have an appointment and asked if we can go after, and she said no, that's the only possible time that she can go before she heads back to her house out of state. I let her know that she will still have to send pictures of anything before she buys it, and she agrees. I'm a bit peeved at this point since I was with them all weekend and she waited until less than 24 hours in advance to let me know about dress shopping. I texted her the next day and said on the second thought it would be better if we went the next day when I would be able to join. She replied and said that they were actually not even going shopping that day since she had decided to stay in Vegas longer with her boyfriend and they were still driving back. I was annoyed since she made it out like that was the only possible time that she could go dress shopping, but also relieved now that I would be able to go with since her style is very ugly. The bride typically picks out all the bridesmaid dresses, so I was worried that she would pick something hideous and it would actually look like I forced her into whatever ugly dress she picks. LOL.
She just picks like a court jester's like outfit from medieval times.
Exactly. Anyway, I never heard back from her after I said, oh good, that will work better, in response to her saying that they would be going dress shopping the next day. The next day rolls around and at 11 a.m. I received a picture of her in the most hideous dress I've ever seen. She asked, is this the right color? And I said yes, but I thought I was coming along with dress shopping.
Oof.
She said I was unclear about wanting to come, and I said pictures were fine. I told her, okay, at this point, get whatever you want. Because I'm honestly just over both of my fiance's raggedy butt sisters. Mind you, these women are a decade older than me, so I'm especially shocked by their immature behavior. Oh, did she act like my comment was the end of the world? She sent me a text so long that I had to scroll through it, calling me disrespectful multiple times. I told her, absolutely not. You are the disrespectful one here. As the bride, I should not be begging to insert myself into bridesmaid dress shopping multiple times. It should be common sense that I want to participate in all of my wedding related events, which includes bridesmaid dress shopping. And you know what I want you to participate in is checking us out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, because we've got more full episodes of stories just like this one. Just search OK Storytime. Participate, pretty please.
Yeah.
Please listen to the sound of us, please.
And there is a little bit more to the story, but what do we think? I think, is she getting booted?
Dude, like,
I feel like this is where that's heading.
I'm not a weddinger. I'm not a weddinger.
Yep.
But
A weddinger?
like, I'm like, all right, we got to figure this out because this is the wrong the wrong people are in charge of things.
Yeah, yeah.
So those, if the bridesmaid dresses are horrific, I'm like, well, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And this reaction to conflict and confrontation, I would just be like, okay, so no, I'm not being disrespectful. I don't like what's happening right now. I don't want you to be a bridesmaid anymore. You can wear what you want because you're not going to be standing up. So
yeah, I think if you're planning a wedding,
yep,
and one of your, the maid of honor who's supposed to be your right hand is like coming at you.
Yeah, got a mind of its
Like,
own.
You gotta just get rid of it. Get a right hand that's gonna help you.
Exactly.
Not fight back.
Exactly. But there's a little bit more to the story, so let's finish it on up. My fiance called her later on, and it came out that she was pissed that we had denied her new boyfriend a spot in the wedding party. As of now, she stepped down from being a bridesmaid, and she's blaming it on me being picky about the dress shopping. Anyways, I could really give two craps to what she's blaming it on. I'm happy her negative energy won't be affecting my day. I'm so done with trying to please his family. And that is the end of that story. She didn't even need to kick her out. Trash took itself out.
Trash took itself out.
All right.
Which is good, because if you did kick her out, then it would probably start a whole thing of like, oh
Yeah.
P, you're such a power hungry nightmare bridezilla.
Right.
And
But
it's like, no, my right hand's fighting me.
yeah, like now in this situation, you're like, this isn't up to me. I can't be blamed here. Cannot be
It
blamed.
just ever called for Italian hands. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I didn't do that. Or,
You
no,
didn't?
Oh, thank you, Tom. Tom reset me. Okay, cool.
Tom.
Cool.
Tom worked out.
But that is the end of that story. And
My family made my postpartum unbearable. It ruined our relationship.
Dump them.
A little backstory for perspective. I'm the oldest of three sisters, me 32 female, and sisters 27 female and 20 female, and grew up with strict parents. My mother ruled the house both by rules and emotions. If she was mad or upset, everyone felt it. But if I was sad or upset, the response from my mother was always, "That's why you're sad? Don't be dumb/stupid.
Aw.
It's nothing to be sad and upset about." So as you can imagine, my default had to be happy. And I worked to hide any negative/non-happy feelings away. I didn't realize I did this until I left home and had the space to just feel my feelings. By the way, this comes from Independent Low 7841. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I got married to my husband, 36, male, 5 years ago. And to be honest, I'm not sure my family has ever really accepted or liked my husband. Maybe because of the language barrier, or maybe because we didn't just do everything with my family and how my family wanted, or maybe because it meant I was going to create roots 1.5 hours away and not move back to where they live. Not sure, but I've always had the sense, and I've never really said anything, but I know he has never really felt truly welcome into our family by either my parents or sisters. My husband and I had a long fertility journey. After going through multiple rounds of IVF, a little miracle embryo stuck around, and I was pregnant.
Let's go!
My husband was and is my person, and he knew how broken I was after every negative test and bad news we received during the journey. My family wasn't the most comforting, so I typically wouldn't tell them about a procedure or failed try until after I had time to process, which makes sense.
Totally.
Quick side note, during my journey, my mom made me feel like I was not trying hard enough or doing the right things. And at one point told me, "You don't understand what you are going through hurts me more than it hurts you."
I never understand the moms who don't get it, because it's like you
went
are a
through
woman.
this. You're a woman. You birthed
did
a
it.
baby into this world. How do you not realize how traumatic it can be to like lose a potential kid?
I don't get it. I
Yeah,
do
a
not get
little rough for wear. But nonetheless, everyone was so excited about our little miracle baby when we announced our pregnancy. My pregnancy was pretty easily, thankfully. At 35 weeks, I was not feeling well and noticed the baby was not moving as much. And at one point, I hadn't felt him move for 12 hours. I decided I wanted to make sure he was okay, and my husband took me to the hospital. Unfortunately, things weren't looking good. The baby had a heartbeat, but wasn't reacting or moving.
Goodness.
It was decided the best course of action was to have an emergency C-section that day. I let my family know what was going on, and they decided they were going to drive over. I live 1.5 hours away from them. I go into surgery, and I feel them take my baby out, but no cries. And it's just a rush of doctors. I'm asking my husband if our baby's alive, and he didn't know. None of the doctors answered. I was a mess, open at the delivery table, not knowing if my baby was breathing or alive. After what felt like an eternity, we heard a cry.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that was your heart.
Yeah.
My heart was beating.
Yeah.
Oh, and they were rushing him out. I didn't get to see my baby until hours later in the NICU while I was on the gurney for maybe 5 minutes. All this to say, I had a very traumatic birth experience. My baby had to be literally resurrected. We weren't sure if he was going to make it for a few days. I didn't get to hold him until 4 days later.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, like the baby's in the an ICU, and it's like just an unimaginable scenario to be in as a parent.
Yeah. My family showed up the following morning to say hi, but honestly, I don't remember it much. It was a blur and I wasn't strong enough to get up yet to make my way to see my baby in an ICU. I delivered in the middle of the week and was supposed to be discharged on Saturday. My family decided they would come back on Saturday and stay the weekend at our home. During the rest of my stay at the hospital, I was just focused on being able to walk to the NICU so I could sit next to my son. We went through a roller coaster of emotions and news, him starting on CPAP, to have him be intubated, white blood cell transfusions, MRIs, EKGs, ultrasounds. I was in pieces trying to focus on our son, hoping he would make it out. Finally, Saturday came around when I had to be discharged, and we knew my son would have to stay behind in the NICU. My family showed up, and through the NICU, I was able to take my parents one at a time, 2 people max, by the bedside of the NICU babies to meet their first grandchild. I decided my sisters could wait until Sunday so as to not overwhelm him or me. My family went to our house while my husband and I stayed behind to be with him until late that evening. Now, here is where the drama starts.
Oh no.
Again, this is where the drama starts, John.
Dude.
We've had all of this stuff, what seems like a drama before, but no, this is where the drama starts.
I do not want to hear about this mother-in-law or whoever is disturbing OP's peace right now, because that is an insane thing to do at this time.
Yeah. Mind you, I delivered our miracle baby and we are leaving the hospital without him. He's staying behind in the hospital with oxygen, covered in wires and tubes. We are devastated. I was broken. My heart ached. We arrive home and open the garage to walk in to find the garage was completely reorganized. My family decided that me saying just push things to the side, give me a small walkway from the driveway to the door into our family room. That's after saying no, don't move anything multiple times. But my mom pressing me, come on, let me move things. And I just gave in after a bit because I didn't want to argue. She basically, the mom took that to mean, let's reorganize and play Tetris with everything here.
My goodness.
So they could fit in a car.
Oh my God.
It wasn't even about her.
Dude.
Side note, we had moved in less than 2 months prior and we were still organizing. So what they saw as a mess was a disorganized chaos where we still knew where things were and had a method to the madness. As we opened the garage, my husband is clearly upset. I don't blame him, but just tell him to please keep the peace. It's his home too, and it's not the first time they've done things that they think should be done. We open the door, and what do I first see? A large sign with balloons saying, congratulations. I really don't understand why I'm not celebrating. I'm broken. I'm coming home without my baby, a baby that had gone through so much in its short life. I hated that sign, but knowing my family, I knew I couldn't say anything because someone was going to get butthurt.
Man.
I sat in the family room to be nice, and my husband went upstairs to our room. Now, don't get me wrong. I was grateful they took the time to come out and be there, but why didn't someone think about the situation we were in? After maybe about half an hour, I went upstairs to rest and just avoid seeing the sign. When I got to our bedroom, my husband asked if I was okay with the sign. I said no, but I couldn't bring up the courage to tell them the sign also hurt him. We weren't celebrating.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how do you not? Maybe they got the sign before all the difficult pregnancy, but the pregnancy sounded like it was, almost like a couple days of it being like stopping. It was 4 days, right? It was 4 days in the hospital, right?
4 days, and baby's still in the NICU, and like it seems like where the family should be saying like, hey, do you need anything? Like, how are you doing? Do you need space? Do you need to grab some food? Whatever. Then it's like,
you should ask what you need us to do.
Yeah.
Not I don't know if like preempting their needs is a good idea, especially when you just don't know what they would need, except maybe the husband. He decided to tell them politely to take it down. I know my husband, and he was likely straightforward and told him to take it down. He came up and we cried together, trying to make sense of everything that was going on with our son. This was the first time we'd been home since we drove to the hospital, and it didn't feel right that the little guy wasn't with us. We wake up the next morning to head back out to the hospital to make sure we were there early, hear what the day's action plan was for our son's care, and hear any updates on his condition and findings. As I make my way downstairs, it's only my parents with stern faces. I didn't have time to deal with it, so we left after getting a quick snack and made our way to the hospital. The plan had been that my mom would stay behind to look after me, but really it was to have someone else to talk to when I got home and make us food. She had offered, and we didn't prompt her to do this. My father and sisters would stop by the hospital to meet our son on the way back home. I later found out, in fact, they were not stopping by and were just leaving straight home. I was hurt that they didn't want to meet my son, but I just shrugged it off. We decided to go back home so I could rest a little and have dinner before going back to the hospital for a few more hours that evening. We arrived home to find work had been done at the house. Little things, but clearly still work that we had never asked about. What do you mean work? My husband walks in and makes a comment, something along the lines of, this is my home and they need to ask permission before they do things, which I think is totally fair. Wait, they're doing like little like DIY projects around the house? Like what are they doing?
They like essentially like redoing it to where they're like, oh, this is like our house.
This is our
Like
house
a
now.
vibe.
We're claiming
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, let me mark my territory by buying the ugliest like platitude on like with flip flops and a wood board. You know, like the
Live,
old people
laugh,
Florida
love.
stuff.
Yeah.
Live, laugh, love. Exactly.
Or no shirt, no shoes. Please come in.
Yeah, that's a great one. Classic.
Now I think that may have been a bit rude, but also to be fair, it hadn't been the first time, and we were also going through a very difficult time. Not sure if that's an excuse, but we were both just hanging on. I understood because I just wanted to feel home, and it felt comforting to come home to find things where he left them and not to have to ask where in the world certain things are. I sat with my mom and asked why my sisters and fathers didn't stop by, and she let me know they felt hurt that my husband told them to take down the sign and pretty much how rude it is. I told her that it didn't mean to be rude, but to understand we weren't celebrating. We had left our son in the hospital. To try and understand how he felt, I told her I wasn't okay mentally and I knew I needed to seek therapy. It was my way of trying to let her know that I was not doing well. I was barely keeping it together on the inside, and she just stayed quiet. She later proceeded to ask me to give her a list of things to do, and I tell her, please just make food and nothing else. Just take it easy. I honestly don't like when others clean up after me in my home or move things around. So maybe you should listen to that. She's giving you less work. Just be helpful in the ways that she needs, not in the ways that you need to feel helpful.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good way to phrase it.
Yeah. My mother has a history of this, and when she gets bored, she will go through people's things and throw things out or move things around. This is in her home, but when I lived there, she would also go through my things and throw things out. Her response is, well, you know, I can't stay still and I need to do things. After back and forth and likely the comment my husband made, she decides to turn my dad around and have him come back and pick her up since she didn't feel useful or welcome in our home. At this point, we're going to head back to the hospital, and I was just crying more out of frustration that she really is only willing to give what she wants and what she thinks is best and not what I want or need. I don't have the mental space to deal with her or my family, and my only focus is my son. The days went by and he got better. He had a 28-day stay in the ICU. I was there every day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., cheering for him and watching him get stronger. During his stay, my parents visited twice, and one of those times was my 20 female sister joining. And also, my 20 female sister got the opportunity to meet him.
Okay.
That's great.
There we go.
Now, context is the NICU, the NICU. Babies here are fragile, and it is required to thoroughly wash your hands every time you enter a room, regardless if you left a minute and came back in. This will be useful context for later. What do you got? What do you got for me, John? You got an ICU? You got a little
It's an
ICU?
Somebody is going to come in and then they're gonna be like, ma'am, can you wash your hands? You'd be like, I don't need to wash my hands. I'm like clean. Why are you telling me to wash my hands? Oh my God, why do you just let me live my life with my dirty hands?
Yeah. I see that coming too. I see that coming too.
No.
Not good. Not what we like to see.
Not what we want. Wash your dang hands.
During his time in the hospital, I would give updates to my mom and things seemed okay. Not great, but manageable. And I figured we'd get past whatever happened as we usually do. My sisters reached out once to see how I was doing, and later I found out that they only reached out to me after my husband asked them to reach out because he knew I wasn't doing well. Yay for feeling the genuine family support. We were finally able to take our baby home on a feeding tube, but nonetheless home. We got discharged on Sunday afternoon, and we're happy to have him home, but also happy to have a week to ourselves to get into a rhythm with our new little family of 3 before we had any visitors the following weekend. My husband and I decided that we would allow our immediate family to visit only and to not overwhelm us or our son. We would have one family each day. I quickly texted to my mother to ask what day they would prefer to come over to meet our son, since we were going to have one day for each family. And her response was, we'll go next weekend instead. I asked why, and she said, I hoped to see them that weekend. She later got back to me and said, okay, your dad said we could go Saturday. Looking back, I regret asking why and feel like I begged them to come see my son. Saturday comes around and they let me know they are on their way. They show up and I ask them to wash their hands. If someone wanted to hold the baby, both my sisters just point to my mother. She held him and we made small talk, and then less than an hour later, they get up and say they're leaving. Honestly, I was expecting them to stay longer and was planning to get lunch delivered. They just said they have something else to do. You have something better to do than to see the child of your, I mean, this is the
This is
child
your
of
grandchild.
this is your grandchild.
The first time and not just your grandchild, but your grandchild that has gone through this insane journey.
Yeah. Barely alive.
Barely alive to be able to make it to the spot. And you're not just like, I mean, I would be bawling my eyeballs out, grateful that I could just, see and hold the baby.
Yeah. We walked them out, and not going to lie, I cursed them out in my head and was bummed, but I felt it was my fault for pushing their visit. I wasn't going to invite them over again until they reached out that they wanted to visit. And next day, the Sunday rolls around, and we had plans for my husband's family to come visit late that afternoon. And I received a call that morning from my uncle, mother's brother, that they were on their way over to see the baby. I was taken aback because I hadn't invited them, and I had clearly told my mother that they were going to have a day for each family. So she knew my in-laws were going to be coming that Sunday, and clearly she was the one that told them. We made it work and didn't mention anything to them since I figured they wouldn't overlap with my in-laws. It wasn't what I had planned, but both my husband and I were grateful for the visit. And it was honestly a better visit than what I had thought and what I had with my family the day prior. A few weeks go by, and my mother and I talk or text once in a while, just checking on how my son is doing. But randomly, in the middle of the week, the doorbell rings. I wasn't expecting anyone. My husband had been working from home since his time off ended. My parent and my younger sister. I was surprised and just figured they were dropping by for a while to see my son. They come in, and I again asked them to wash their hands before holding/touching my son. My husband was in a meeting or something and just texted him, my parents are here, to let him know so he could come downstairs when he got a chance. Then they held my son briefly and put him back down. And when my father says to me and turns to me and says, your mom has feelings too, and they were hurt, I was confused, clearly not knowing what he is talking about. He goes on to say they felt unwelcome in our home, and all they did was try to help. And how do you think they feel? But again, you weren't helping in a helpful way. You were helping in the way that you thought you wanted to help it. It's different. It's different. Like being helpful is not about doing things for another person. Being helpful is about doing things that are helpful to this person.
Yes.
I'm not even 2 months postpartum, and I have my father raising his voice at my home. I am taken aback and told them, I don't know what you're talking about. Our focus has been on my son, and my priority is my family, my son and my husband. I have been through so much, and that is where my focus is. I'm sorry if feelings got hurt, but you have to understand where our heads have been. He just keeps on digging on how rude we've been and making me out like the worst daughter and that I'm ungrateful. It honestly starts feeling heated when my husband comes downstairs. We were speaking in Spanish, so he can't quite understand and everything, but they are just saying that they are leaving. I've just had whiplash. I wasn't expecting visitors. They come in, and a few minutes later, it's them raising their voice at me and berating me. I get a call from my father the next day, who never calls me, to tell me to call my mother and apologize because she isn't doing well. She needs love and support, and you have been treating her poorly. I have made them feel bad and have made them feel dirty because I asked them to wash their hands. This line was mentioned a few times. I'm bewildered because, hello, it's a new baby and you should be washing your hands. And also remember, your grandson was in the NICU, the NICU, born premature and came out with a feeding tube. You should want to wash your hands on your own to protect him. You've been in the car 1.5 hours. Like, come on. The conversation with him isn't going anywhere, and it's like talking to a wall. He only wants me to apologize because his wife isn't doing well, and when she isn't happy, it affects him. And well, can't have that, happy wife, happy life. I pretty much hurry and end the call because my son had a blowout. Thankfully, nothing like a little diaper action to get you out of
sometimes it saves the day. It saves the day.
Sorry, baby's pooping.
Yep.
Sorry, baby. I gotta go. I would love to stay here and talk, but smell that?
Ooh.
That's the sound of responsibility calling.
Fresh.
I gotta go. Sometimes a shitty situation is the best kind of situation you can have. Well, to be nice, I call my mom the next day, just checking in to see how she's doing, and FaceTime with her so she could see my son. It goes fine, but it's very superficial. I talk to her at a later point, and she makes it known that they want to visit my cousin, and that also they had a baby around the same time as me, and that they stayed there for hours, and how my dad loved holding her baby, and how he fed him. Did I mention that up to this point, my father had not held my son and declined every offer that I made? She also throws in how my cousin and her husband were just gushing over how grateful they were for the visit. Maybe I read into it too much, but that rubbed me so wrong. I have no problem with them visiting her, and I think it's great because she doesn't have any other family in the States. It's the way she told me and the little details that she pointed out as a way to try and jab me that rubbed me wrong. Weeks go by, barely communicating with anyone in my family. Holiday season is upon us and nothing from them. A few weeks before Christmas, we get a call on Sunday morning asking if we'll be home because they are coming over for a visit. I say, sure. Great. They want to come visit their grandson, I figured. Well, my family arrived along with my middle sister's boyfriend, and they came to announce their engagement. That happened the day prior. Honestly, I was so happy for them. He is such a great guy and she's lucky to have him. But the whole visit was my parents mostly talking to my sister and her fiance in Spanish, which my husband can't totally understand. And we both felt like the third wheel. It was just them having conversations and us staring and or looking at each other. And they left after a couple of hours. That's got to be a little weird.
Like, yeah, it's like, hello,
and
I
goodbye.
am here.
Yeah.
Hi.
It's like a podcast that you don't understand that you're just
It's like,
listening to.
It's like you're watching a podcast, except it's people in real life and they're just ignoring you.
And they're speaking a language you don't understand. Next time I saw my parents was really the weekend after New Year's. I had told my husband that the next time we saw them, I wanted to clear the air because I hated having this dysfunctional relationship and wanted them to be involved in my son's life. Well, they arrive and it's awkward. We do small talk, they play and hold our son. Overall, a nice visit given the strained relationship. And towards the end of their visit, I tell them I want to clear the air and tell them I know things haven't been well and I want to talk things out so we can move past it and have them be more involved in my son's life. Well, that conversation went downhill right away. It was a lot of how we were ungrateful and rude. Some key highlights. I was the cause for them considering divorce. What?
Wow.
What I did just caused issues in their marriage. Side note, I recently remembered something that happened when I was 7 or 8. My mother taking me with her on a date with another man while my dad was working and telling me that I had to act like I was her sister. There was a time period when she requested I didn't call her mom when out in public if my dad wasn't around since it made her feel old and likely because men would realize she had children. Other times she was flirty with other men and enjoyed the attention from a married man who had been close to my parents and never really shut that attention down. Oh my God, we're getting some backstory. Holy moly. This is still going on. We made them feel dirty by constantly asking them to wash their hands. They always shower and wear their best rags. And for me to ask them to wash their hands was rude. They even asked my aunt and uncle if we asked them to wash their hands. I don't understand what they went through when my son was in the NICU. They constantly help other people with home improvements, and those people are grateful, but we weren't. And note, all the scenarios they mentioned were people asking them for help, not them randomly doing things without being prompted. My mother mentioned how it hurt so much to hear me say I was prioritizing my family, husband and son, and how it was karma for her since that's what she told her mom when she was defending me about some family drama years ago. She now realizes she was wrong for saying what she did while making it known that karma will get me. After the conversation went nowhere, we really were just going in circles. And when I tried to explain how some of the things they did made me feel, their response was deflect or just put themselves down saying, I know I'm stupid and I don't think, or I'm sorry for being dumb. We just haven't figured out how to be in-laws. I just sort of shut down and try to move on and tell them I wish they were more involved in my son's life. Since we don't have a lot of family and he only has one grandma since my husband's mom had passed away. They decided to head out and that was it. We didn't talk for months. It sounds like this relationship is not getting any better.
Yeah.
I guess I could have also reached out, but I never felt supported or like they tried to understand me. And maybe I've been wrong and was the a-hole. My husband has always supported my decision and has encouraged me to reach out, but I think I'm just stubborn and also don't know what to say anymore. Through all this, I've talked to my youngest sister, 20 female, once, and she expressed how crappy the situation has been and that she doesn't understand how things got here, but then she stopped replying to me. It seems like OP is losing all their family.
Yeah.
My other sister has never reached out. We've never been super close, and she always had the same mentality of my mother for everything. I wish they would have reached out to at least ask about their grandson or nephew, not even about me, but I think it's too much to ask. That last conversation was in January, and now it's the week before Mother's Day. We've seen them once at a family event where we stopped by for a few hours and acted fake like we all got along. I tried inviting them for Easter so they could spend time with my son, but they had just made plans and wouldn't make it. I know the sister has a date for a wedding, and it wouldn't surprise me if I'm not invited. It's her day, and I respect her decision, but I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't hurt me. I really don't even know why my sisters have beef with me. By the way, you should never have beef with us because you can listen to full stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime.
Check it
There's
out.
more to the story, and I'm just going to steamroll right into it. But
do it.
John, any thoughts before we get to the end?
I mean, pretty much what we said. Insane experience to go through, and way even more insane how disrespectful and unempathetic the family is, and Opie deserves 10 trillion%
10
better.
trillion% better. Agreed. My question to you, Reddit, the final question. Were my husband and I a-holes? Should I go and apologize for hurting everyone's feelings? Is there something I'm not seeing? Maybe I'm acting too much like the victim here. At this point, I just feel disappointed and sad about the whole postpartum journey where I thought it would have brought my family closer together because there was a baby. I know I still need to do more therapy to fully cope with what happened with my son. I resent my family for lack of support in my postpartum journey and making me deal with more drama than I needed. I would like to have a relationship with them, but I don't know what that will look like or even how to begin moving forward. I'll just be seeing them again in a month at a family event and just assume we will be fake because that's what we do in front of others. And that's where it ends. That's where it ends. It's sad. It's sad to see, but you know, I do think you should look at all people in your life. You know, is this person bringing me joy? Right? Is this person making my life better, like easier? Are they giving me the kind of energy that I want in my life?
I mean, it's like my hope for OP is that after it's kind of like the dust settles and OP's like been away from their family for long enough to like, oh, I'm not like going crazy and people aren't like rearranging my garage randomly.
Yeah. What would happen if you just didn't have contact with him? Probably life would be a lot simpler.
Yeah.
But that's where that story ends.
My friend's bride acted horribly at her own wedding. It made everyone upset.
No one likes a bridezilla.
I've held on to this one for years. The groom, we'll call him Tim, was best friends with my husband. The bride, let's call her Cruella, who was unknown to my husband, myself, even the groom's family. Tim met her while working out of state, and according to him, they had everything in common. Okay, they had a lot in common, and what they didn't, she made sure that he changed his mind on agreeing with her. By the way, this comes from Lady Command, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Tim's parents and sister saw this dramatic shift. His best friend saw it. Even I did. He was arrogant before, but phew, she was even more so, without anything to really back it up. She was average, but very, very arrogant average. So I don't get asked what I mean by average. She has straight, mousy, shoulder-length hair, no makeup, didn't exercise, about 5'3" or 4. She wore clothes that were stained and stretched out, basically comfortable how she was. Like so many of us, average. She wasn't a genius, didn't have an important or high-paying job, just average. Nothing against average. I myself am basically average. It just stood out with the arrogance and her actions. Invites went out for a bridal shower to be held where she was from, a 5-hour drive away from the groom's family. Okay, no problem. We carpooled with Tim's family. We asked in advance, especially since we had a person with lots of pain from travel and another who was elderly, if there was somewhere that we could stay if we got there early or even if we needed to spend the night. We didn't know the area, so we needed some suggestions. Somehow this request offended Cruella. To this day, we have no idea why, but after my husband talked with Tim, we got some suggestions and couldn't understand what the issue had been. Afterwards, Cruella apparently convinced Tim somehow that this request was everyone being against her, and he was asking us to apologize to her. What? So Tim's mother, to keep the peace, apologized for being elderly and needing these suggestions.
So sorry, I'm old.
I loved this woman so much. Cruella said that she didn't have time to deal with something so trivial, especially with the wedding and shower plans. She snapped at Tim's mother over the phone to ask someone else or contact AAA. Tim's mom rolled with it and just politely put it down to Cruella being nervous and overwhelmed. She told Tim any questions about anything from his family or friends, they had to ask him, not her, and he could get answers for all of us. One of the traveling party, me, was allergic to shellfish and nuts, so Tim was made aware of this to pass along. This part was awesome. Even though nothing was apparently going to be made with either, Cruella demeaned the person to Tim, which he just spewed out at all of us during a visit with family and friends. We came to help arrange carpool and get the rest of his stuff. But he went on and on, not even knowing who, saying that she had never heard of anyone with those kinds of allergies. 2 of the top 5 and she'd
Shellfish? She's never heard of a person with a shellfish allergy?
or a nut allergy.
Those are the top 2.
Those are the allergies.
Those are the allergies.
Like, what?
I have multiple friends with those allergies.
Yeah, but she demands that they don't really exist. to the extent that she wanted him to make sure of who it was and see if he could possibly convince them not to come and possibly ruin her fun day, even though nothing was even going to be made with them in the first place.
Nothing's gonna be even made with those.
Oh, man. During this time, just a week now until the shower, the wedding invitations went out. My husband and I never got one, though. Tim was still talking as if we were going, so my husband mentioned that we never got an invite. Tim checked the list of the ones that were sent, and it was supposed to be. So he asked Cruella. She never mailed it because she figured that I was the one who claimed food allergies. Tim sent the invite and was upset with Cruella, but only about the invite. Tim told her that it was crappy to hold the invite and he didn't want to upset his BFF. She said, "Oh, okay. Well, tell his wife then that she doesn't have to bring me a gift to the shower then. Wouldn't be a loss with someone like that," meaning food allergies. Made me a lesser person to her since she doesn't believe that they exist. We'll move on to the shower. I have never been to another like this. When we arrived after 5 hours on the road, Cruella was in a huddle with her bridesmaids and mother. Never said hello to us, let alone mother-in-law, no matter how hard mother-in-law tried. The mother was a very nice person, but the bridesmaids, not so much. Cruella and her bridesmaids were just snapping at us to sit down already. Apparently, the time we arrived, 20 minutes early, was late to her. She wanted us to arrive an hour before. Why? No reason was ever given, and this was never mentioned before we all left. But she was pissed off and made sure that we sat all the way in the back, even Tim's mother, witching the whole time about our inconsideration. Who knows what all she said to her bridesmaids, but their scowls could have cracked glass. Normally, you eat, then play games, but she wanted to reverse, even though that we were on the road for so many hours nonstop. So we rolled with it, as long as we could have some water. OMG, you'd have thought that we would ask for a $1,000 bottle of champagne. She said, "We're serving the bottles of water for when the food is served. I don't know what to do for any of you. We don't have any plastic cups or anything because those are so wasteful."
She literally went, "Die."
Necessary medications had to be taken by two of us, so I drove out to a town 3 miles away. I got drinks for our caravan of people. When I got back, bridesmaids were witching about how I was holding them up. No, I could have cared less had you started without me, lol. The games. Some were regular ones. Some were just theirs that they made up. One was a page with different images on it. Everyone had their own page. You had 1 minute to memorize as many items, not wedding related, weirdly. And then we had to flip the paper over, using our laps as tables. Tables were only for food time, apparently. Then we had 1 minute to write everything that we could remember. So now prize time. The bridesmaids ask how many are written down. Some had 8, 9, 10, onward. One in our group had 23. The bridesmaids balk at this and are telling the whole room how there must have been cheating or have gibberish written down. They have everyone write their names on their pages, hand them in, and they're going to check them and make sure that only people who had right answers are awarded a prize. We had to sit while they took about 15 minutes to check all the lists. It's a shower, not a standardized test. I can understand if the prizes were $100 or more gift cards, nice jewelry, or something of significant value, as I know happens at some showers doing this. They had over 50 prizes unwrapped so we could see them, all from the Dollar Tree, and most of them were from multiple packs being given individually. There were 6 games. To accuse the future mother-in-law and sister-in-law of being cheaters was truly heinous, but being the laid-back folk that we were, we gave each other humored looks and basically at this point knew that we would have plenty of laughter material for the way home and for years later. Each game was done the same, but after the second game, friends of Cruella were told that theirs didn't have to have graded, only out-of-area folks did. Last game, I was a high scorer. I don't even remember what the game was. Cruella loudly told the bridesmaids to not check mine, grabs one of like 20 remaining prizes, walks over and says, "Since I didn't send out your invitation with the others, here you go. Oh, and since that happened, you didn't have to bring me a present. Oh, but I saw you did, right? So wedding present then. I know that they can be difficult for some." I answer with a big smile. Well, while it's encouraged to bring a gift to a shower, it's actually not a requirement. I don't have to give you a gift if I choose not to. We all went in together on your gift, but thanks for the prize. She knew Tim before my husband and I got married, but was not at our wedding. She kept making weird statements about how she got away with not having to get us a wedding gift. Why? No idea. And now for the food. Oh my gosh, it just never ends. Oh my gosh, it was all little cut cakes and cookies, all desserts, with one of us out-of-towners being diabetic, and she knew this. Just like allergies, she believed that they didn't really exist. This is all that we were given to eat for over 9 hours until we could find somewhere to stop. And there were nuts everywhere.
Oh my God.
Dusted on each dessert.
No.
The snacks were bowls of different nuts. And Cruella and her bridesmaids all giggled. Just messed up people. As the wedding drew closer, she and her bridesmaids got more and more obnoxious to Tim's mother and sister. They were gracious to Cruella and saved any upset to help not make Tim's day worse. And you can prevent your day from getting worse by listening to full episodes with more stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. Your day is going to be instantly better.
Try it out. See.
But there is a little bit more to the story, but I don't want to just get on the phone with these people. No, I want to be in a wrestling ring with these people.
I want to, yeah.
Go
I want
to
to
the
go toe to
octagon.
toe.
Yeah.
Let me
Cage
in
match.
there, coach. Let me in there. They just suck. There's no redeeming qualities to these people.
No.
I don't want to be at their wedding.
No.
I'm telling my husband, hey, I can't go to any of these events. They suck. I fear for my life.
There is a little bit more to the story, though. So we were so upset for Tim's mother, especially since this was her new daughter-in-law. So we decided to take Cruella up on her offer about the gift. My husband found the biggest box at work that he could. It barely fit into our car, but I had wrapped it very prettily. Eventually, at the reception, she saw the box and asked loudly what could be inside with this expectant look on her face, while in front of half of the guests, hoping upon hope that she had somehow just won the lottery of gifts from laid-back person whom she was such a biatch to. My husband answered in his loud voice, "Same thing you got us, different color." Look on her face was priceless as the recognition of the answer sunk in. Tim got the gag and actually loved it. Yes, my husband is still BFFs with Tim. Yes, Tim and his wife are both still full of themselves. And that is the end of that
BFFs
story.
with Tim?
Yeah, I feel like Tim seems like he's very much stuck in this relationship. I doubt he's actually happy, but he's still being, he's still not being a good friend, it seems.
And also OP literally just said Tim and his wife are still full of themselves.
Yeah, so if Tim is full of himself
Why
too,
are we
then like,
friends with Tim?
what's going on? If he's as full of himself as this wife, then girl, get out of there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But that is the end of that story. My sister-in-law is in love with my husband. I want to uninvite her.
Do it.
Am I the a-hole if I uninvite my 32 female sister-in-law, 30 female, I'll call her Tina, from my baby shower because I think she's in love with my husband?
That's a pretty reasonable reason to uninvite someone from your baby shower.
Yeah, I think so. My husband, 33 male, and I met each other at a ski lodge 9 years ago. I was with my young daughter and a female friend and her child. My husband was with his 2 brothers and 3 sisters and a few friends. There was a singing competition and both of us were set up by our friends to enter it. And sparks flew during our duet and the rest is history.
Dude, that's High School Musical.
By the way, this comes from Apprehensive You 913, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So back to our first meeting. This was the first time that I caught on to my sister-in-law's disturbing behavior. After the singing competition, he and I went to the cafe to chat. His middle sister, Tina, who was adopted at birth, came storming up to us and demanded that he come back to their group. She never looked at me and whined when he shut her down. She ran off crying and apparently took her sister's room key cards and locked them out so that they had to stay with the friends in their room. Fast forward to when we bought a house together. We had a housewarming and invited family and close friends. Tina showed up in a schmexy club outfit. She ignored me the entire time and hung all over my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time. She kept recalling tales of them when they were little and how close they were. She would kiss him on the cheek, hug him, and touched his arm when laughing. He was visibly uncomfortable, so I stepped in. At first, I just thought that she had a crush on him, but the way that she was acting looked like she was the girlfriend and not me. She was going around reminding and telling everyone that he used to say that he never wanted to have kids, but now he's playing daddy to my daughter. One of my friends said that she thought Tina was weird for talking about how hot his modeling photos were when he did print work back in college, and that her favorite photo was of them at the beach in Hawaii during family vacation a few years back. The most bizarre thing she told a few people was that he had never dated a woman of color before, and now all of a sudden he's in love.
What?
It's only bizarre to me because she's biracial, so I don't know why this would bother her. Unless
because she wants it to be her.
Yeah, as OP says, unless she's jealous of me because
Yeah,
she
she's like,
wished
"This is-
she were me.
This is ridiculous. I was supposed to be the woman of color that he dated.
That's
You're
crazy.
his sister, you freak.
Yeah, that's weird. Then things go south at the end of the night when he gets down on one knee and proposes to me.
Stop.
Oh my gosh, exciting. She started crying and ran into the restroom.
Dude, if I saw that happening and I like knew her at all, even if
Yeah.
I was part of this family, I'm going in that restroom and I'm saying, girl,
Yeah.
that's your brother. Stop being a little freak.
I know like you're adopted, so it's not blood, but ew.
Ew.
Gross.
You grew up together, you freak.
Yeah. Adopted from birth, I think it said
From
too.
birth.
So that's even more so.
You freak.
Their dad went to check on her and then drove her home. I knew exactly why she was upset, but my husband always equated her behavior to jealousy because she never had healthy relationships. After that tantrum, she skipped our wedding, baby shower, our children's birthday parties, and other family events that we attended. I was fine with extending invitations because I knew that she wasn't going to show up. She had some sort of mental breakdown and was in and out of treatment for years. Now, I have to say, I wish nothing but the best for her, and I don't know what kind of issues she's going through, but I don't want her disrupting our peace. I'm currently pregnant and our baby shower is at the end of this month. I'm having it a few months early because I'm at risk for going into labor early like I did with my other two children. My mother-in-law called to RSVP and stated that Tina would be riding with them and if it was okay if she brought her new boyfriend. I was surprised because we hadn't seen her in years, but I was apprehensive to agree. Eventually, I did agree and hoped that she resolved whatever caused her so much distress when she was around my family. Well, it took all of 24 hours for her to start her nonsense. She texted my husband paragraphs at 3 a.m. telling him how she felt about our family. First, she went on to say how much she missed them being so close and how I came in and destroyed their close relationship when I barely said 50 words to her in 9 years. She asked him if he was happy with his life because, again, he used to say that he never wanted kids or to get married. She then asked if he thought about her in all this time and if he could meet up with her before the shower and talk alone, face to face. That was the last straw for me. I asked my husband if he knew that she was in love with him, and he just shrugged and said he didn't doubt my theory. Apparently, when she was 11, she asked if they could cuddle and kiss, and he said no.
Dude, we don't know if he told his parents, but if he did and they didn't do anything,
Yeah.
or if they noticed any of this behavior and they didn't cut it off like from the get-go,
Yeah.
messed up.
Messed up.
Like bad parents. Because this is gross behavior.
Yeah. He admits her behavior since then has always been weird and dramatic, but he didn't pay her much attention because there were many siblings and they all hung out all the time. I asked him if he could uninvite her and this new boyfriend because I think she's going to bring drama to our baby shower. He said that he wants to talk to his parents first to see what kind of state that she's been in. But I know in my gut that she's ready to ruin our day with her theatrics. So am I the a-hole for wanting to uninvite her to the baby shower? An edit for those of you wondering if anything intimate ever happened between them. The answer is no. I'm 100% certain of this. He has a total of 3 adopted siblings, 2 female and 1 male. He says that he sees them as blood-related siblings because the 3 of them were adopted at birth. He's the second youngest, and they're all within 1 to 4 years of each other, so all he knows is them as siblings. He said he chooses to ignore her because she's always been dramatic. He's always worried about her physical safety because she's suffered from depression for as long as he can remember. So he tries to handle things gently. He's not opposed to uninviting her, but he does want to know what his parents think about their mental state and whether she can behave. And second edit, so I keep seeing something about High School Musical. Nice, that's what we were saying. I'm a little too old to have watched that show and movie, but I didn't know about the plot. I changed some details about how we met so this post wouldn't be immediately recognizable, but it's very much, unfortunately, my life right now. My husband is on his way home right now despite having another 3 hours left at work because his phone kept blowing up. He didn't sound good on the phone, but he wouldn't tell me what was wrong. I don't want to call back his mom and other sister to ask what's going on, but I'll try to post an update when hopefully we come to a final solution because I am stressed over this. And we do have an update, but let's dissect all this
I
for a
don't
second.
even know. I don't have her over.
Yeah, I think you're definitely not the a-hole for like uninviting her or
Yeah.
not inviting her in the first place.
No.
'Cause, like, even if it wasn't weird, like, you know, sibling stuff that's going on here, like, she's just dramatic and she causes problems. So if you
Yeah.
don't want that drama in your life and at your baby shower, then I think that's fine. Just be like, yo, according to the statistics, you
Yeah.
have not been the best, like, guest to any of these events.
And
so
you're in love with my husband. Stop that.
Stop that.
Yeah, no, I think talk to the parents, say, hey, I don't feel comfortable having her there. She's expressed interest in her brother
Yeah.
many times.
And the brother doesn't deny it.
Yeah, he's like, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Like, I also think that is an interesting response of him being like, I don't know, I guess Theory's
I
probably
think you're right. Yeah.
Like, it feels like he's very hesitant to kind of agree with it, but I also
Yeah.
feel like that's understandable because you don't want to be like, yeah, my sibling is attracted to me.
Right. This will probably be my last update since my husband and I decided that we need to be completely removed from sister-in-law's drama/trauma so we can focus on having a healthy pregnancy and family life. I have an appointment with a perinatologist, a high-risk prenatal doc, tomorrow morning that was scheduled weeks ago to check on the baby. Thank you to those who were concerned about me and the baby. So I don't even know where to start. So I apologize if this update seems all over the place. I also have to point out for the person who went through my common history, I switched the numbers, genders, and event details so I wasn't as easily identified in real life. I have a professional license, so if someone recognized me and thought I was being unethical due to the nature of the post, I've avoided certain verbiage because of my job. I could be brought in for a review, which I would much like to avoid. So I'm sorry that I can't be 100% truthful with all of the details. I tried my best to keep the most important information as factual as possible. My husband ran home because Tina blew up his phone, texting and calling. Now, my husband always texts or calls me on his lunch break to check on me, even before the pregnancy, so I knew that something was wrong when he didn't. Since he left Tina on red, she started calling and sending a slew of unwarranted and degrading texts about me and our children. So basically, Tina being Tina. He didn't run it by me, but he sent her a long paragraph, which he showed me when he got home, basically telling her off and told her that he would have rather never speak to her again than listen to her talk bad about our family. He told her that she would never be invited to any of our family functions and that she needed to check herself back into the hospital if she thought that their sibling relationship was ever closer than it actually was. Wow.
Dang, good on him.
Yeah. He closed it by saying that he would let the family know the reason she was uninvited and that he hoped that she's either seeing a therapist or would find one immediately. I'm not surprised at his response because the things that she said pushed him to that breaking point. I think the worst thing that she said was that my 2 miscarriages years ago, which would have been our first child together, was caused because we don't actually belong together and that my body couldn't even carry any of my children to term, which was 32 and 30 weeks deliveries. Oh my
God.
gosh. That is
This person
terrible thing.
has like a mental health issue.
Absolutely.
Clearly. I
She
mean, we already know
must.
that she was in, like, this is beyond just like weird. This is like, she's got problems.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I expected her to bring something like this up, but I could tell that it really hurt him, and that's why he didn't hold back from her. He then blocked her and told me that he's changing our phone numbers. He called his parents and the oldest bio sister, whom he's close with, and explained to them why she's never allowed to visit our home. He shared all of their text exchanges, and they were mortified. He asked them not to share our address and when we changed to new numbers. They assured us that none of them shared this information with her because she actually asked for his work schedule and mentioned driving up a day early to surprise him.
No.
Scary.
No.
My father-in-law had the most to say, and I get it. It's his baby girl, but he hadn't shared much info beforehand with anyone else besides his wife. He said that he always knew that she had a little crush on him, but after her outburst at our housewarming years ago, they had a conversation about her behavior, and she told him that she had been keeping a diary about him since she was a teenager. Okay, so the parents did know about this and didn't step in to be like, hey, we're not doing that whole thing in our house.
Failure.
Oh my
Failure.
gosh.
F. If he had a conversation with her and she says,
Yeah, I have a diary about him.
Yeah.
you say, hey, that's not okay.
Yeah.
It's really uncomfy, and you know,
Yeah.
that's your sibling. We don't have those feelings about our siblings.
Right.
You shut it down.
Yeah, because if she was like raised with the idea that this is okay from birth or just kind of like never was taught differently, then it makes sense why she would not think this is so weird, you know, because we're taught like it's kind of like ingrained in our lives that that's not a thing that you do. But anyway, she explained that it was to process her emotions and to challenge negative thoughts. And all I heard was that she wrote about him for years. So there's several journals in their home probably enforcing her beliefs. Apparently, she only stayed away from my husband because my father-in-law kept her in check and was able to get her hospitalized several times for being a threat to herself. I don't know if all of her issues stem from her unrequited love for him. Typing that just made me feel nauseous. He asks that they speak with her about his last text, but that we don't want to know the outcome. He told us that they would deal with her and apologized for thinking that she had resolved her issues. My in-laws are saints, and I thanked them for believing us and keeping her away for all these years. Luckily, she's currently living with them due to her issues, so they're going to speak with her tomorrow morning. The bio sister-in-law called me when we got off the phone with the in-laws. She told me that she was really sorry because she's the one who hooked the new boyfriend and Tina up and suggested that she show him off at the baby shower, but admitted that they had only been dating for like 2 weeks. She said that she sent the texts that Tina sent to my husband to Tina's boyfriend because that's one of the bio sister-in-law's best guy friends, and she wanted to protect him. So I'm pretty sure that they're probably not a thing anymore. I'm kind of nervous how Tina will deal with the 2 rejections so close together. The 2 sisters aren't that close, and she was audibly disgusted to find out that her sister has been pining for their brother all these years. She has a theory though. She thinks that it started with the older bio brother Sean, because when Tina was little, she would follow Sean around all the time. But he's older, so he went off to college abroad. Tina was about 10, and then he permanently moved to Europe. It seemed like the crush transferred to my husband when Sean left. Sean hasn't been back to the States since he graduated high school, and no one really has contact with him, so she said that she can't call and ask him about it. I have to admit that I'm kind of curious and would have been interested in hearing what Sean had to say, but I'll rest assured knowing our involvement in the whole thing is over. But you can always know that you can be involved in more full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. We'll be there for you.
Do it.
Oh my gosh, and there is a little bit left, but do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I think this woman just needs a lot of psychiatric help.
Yeah.
Like medical professionals to help her.
Oh man. So there's a little bit more. Someone pointed out that Tina is potentially dangerous and could hurt me or our children, and this really scared me. My husband is going to upgrade our alarm system and purchase more cameras. I don't work summers and will most likely be out on bed rest by the time I have to go back to work, so he wanted to ensure that the kids and I were safe when he's away from the house. I forgot to mention that we live about 5 hours away, so she would really have to go out of her way to show up here if she somehow found out where we live. So that's it, basically. This will most likely be my only update. I also want to point out for those that think my husband was intimate with her at some point to cause her erratic behavior, if that were the case, she would have loved to throw that in my face over and over. Plus, a guilty man would have tried to silence her a long time ago to keep me from finding out. You don't have to trust him, but I do. Thanks again for all the helpful input. I'm feeling a little more at ease and can't wait to see our closest friends and family at our shower. And that's the end of that story.
Mother-in-law loves to guilt trip me. I don't know what to do.
Guilt trip her back.
My husband, 30 male, and I, 30 female, have been having a bit of trouble with my mother-in-law, 50s female, since the birth of my son, 2 male. To lay the base, my mother-in-law runs an in-home licensed daycare. She keeps it small with a narrow age range because that's what she's comfortable with. She currently has 4 children, 1.5 day, other than my son that visits. She hasn't had more than 4 children in her daycare since I've known my husband. By the way, this comes from It's Levi SA, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So when I was pregnant with my son, my mother-in-law kept telling us and everyone at any chance that we got how fortunate we are to have her around because she would get free daycare. It was a nice thought, and I appreciated that she seemed like she would always be there for us to help us out. I also have a mother and 3 sisters, all of who are nannies, by the way.
Yeah,
So
so
Opie's
Opie's like,
got-
yeah.
She's got options.
Opie's like, that's nice. You're one of many. Thank you, though.
Get in line. After my son was born, we only got 2 visits during the newborn period from her, despite her living 20 minutes away. She said that was because I had family around that would help, so she didn't think we needed her. When she did visit, instead of bringing food, helping clean, or watching the baby so we could all rest, all she and my father-in-law wanted to do was play board games with us. And I found it odd and exhausting, but accepted it as one of her quirks. I was just happy that she was around. As my son got older, it became clear that my mother-in-law was not at all comfortable with newborns. She didn't want to watch him without one of us around, which again was fine, but she did judge every call we made in regard to our son. We were burping him too hard. You'll make his heart stop. That went as far as asking what certifications the nurse who had told us that we were, in fact, burping correctly. Let me see what school that nurse went to.
Yeah, she's like, I don't buy it. Girl, you're not even comfortable holding the baby.
What do you know?
Looks
Which
like
is
you
kind of
ain't got the
crazy
right-
because you were a parent. How are you not comfortable holding a baby?
Yeah.
Weird. I wouldn't listen to anything. I'd be like, thank you. But if you're not going to be helpful, then I got 3 other people here
Yeah.
who can be.
I don't
So,
know. I mean, my niece, I think I could hang out with my newborn niece, but
mhm.
she starts crying. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm like, what do I do?
What do I do?
Help!
Mhm.
She even called my mother to tattle on me for propping a bottle for him because that's not up to daycare standards.
Dude, she's not even at daycare. Or, oh, wait. What did she say for propping the bottle?
Propping up a bottle. It's not up to daycare standards, dude.
Is she at the daycare when I'm
No.
so...
She's at home feeding her kid.
She's at home and the mother's like, that's not daycare standard. She's like, I'm not at the daycare.
What do you mean? Then, at any family gathering we attended, she would literally just come up and snatch my son from my arms and hold him so everyone could see her holding him.
Yeah, she's just doing the Lion King. She's like, see, I have the child.
Oh my gosh, dude. Again, whatever. It's her thing, I guess. I was really annoyed that she would just snatch him without asking or even signaling that she wanted him. But I wasn't going to make a fight over wanting to hold my son. I feel now that she's getting more and more controlling as the years have gone by. I guess as closer she's getting to daycare age,
Yeah.
it's going to be way more controlling.
Yup. Yeah, the second that kid can go into daycare, she's like, he's mine. Bring the child.
Give me the child!
My mother-in-law has begrudgingly watched my son on the odd day that I need to get something done. I'm going to stay at home. It was never my plan, but it just kind of happened. Starting around 1.5 with a little consistency, like once a week, sometimes twice. Then it morphed into, if he stays, I should stay too and help her out. Basically, it's turned to me being her unpaid assistant whenever my son is in daycare. You think that's how she often says what a huge favor she's doing for us when she watches him, that he's a bad kid or spoiled or something. He really isn't. He's intelligent and kind. Everyone that spends time with my son falls in love with him. He's also well-spoken for a 2-year-old. He even says hello and thank you often without even being asked to do so. There have been several times that I've been frustrated with her because she's canceled on me or changed the plan without telling me. For example, when my son was a few months old, she was going to come and take me shopping or something while my husband spent some time canoeing with my father.
Fun.
She told me she would pick me up right after church in the morning. She decided without telling me she would spend the morning with her husband and go late to church. So I'm left with an infant who I'm not sure if I should put down for a nap because his grandma is supposed to be there to pick us up. My husband and I share one car. She later insists it wasn't a big deal because she just changed the plan to accommodate her husband. Oh, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Not the person you're going to pick up. It's OP's husband. Okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't care about like actually helping take care of your kid.
She just didn't seem to understand that I didn't care what she did or even that she was late. I just find it rude changing plans or cancel without communicating or giving time to accommodate. She often canceled a daycare day for my son while I was getting him ready to go into the car. Literally every time she's canceled on me, it's been this short.
I mean, I know it's really hard to get childcare for, your kids, but I feel like it's kind of like a 3 strikes rule.
Okay.
If she's left you in a lurch multiple times with this short of notice, I feel like you got to find someone else who's more reliable and just be like, hey, I understand, you want to help out, but you're not reliable and I need someone who is.
Yeah. That makes sense. This all kind of came to a boiling point this weekend. After 2 years of this, she had agreed to watch my son on Saturday so my husband and I could go to my aunt's 50th birthday party. I also had to go to a baby shower that same morning, which I was bringing my son to. My husband had to work that morning. She sent me a text while I was at the baby shower. Hi, I'm really sick with a severe cold and sore throat, so I can't talk. Do you want grandson around me? Also, if I get worse, I'm not sure if I'll be able to watch him. I was again annoyed.
Do you want grandson around me is so like, well, you know, if you were a good parent, you wouldn't subject your son to my sickness. I feel like she's not even sick.
No, she probably isn't.
She's probably got like a sniffle.
Hey, could you hop on the phone real quick?
Yeah. Hey, can I
FaceTime?
call you? And she's like,
Yikes. I was again annoyed. But this was the first time that she gave me more than an hour's warning. So I forwarded the text to my husband so he could see if his coworker, who has been asking to watch our son, was available. She was on vacation, so she was out.
dang.
I got out of the baby shower after my husband had gotten off work. I needed a nap because I'm 33 weeks pregnant and I've been exhausted. And his mother proceeds to call and yell at us for not calling her immediately to check and see how she's feeling. You just said you could have watched him, basically.
Yeah, and she's like, you didn't. I just told you I was sick, and you didn't call. Yeah, and she's calling you to yell at you with her your
Wait a second.
the voice that she supposedly doesn't have.
Oh, Sophia, did she say she didn't have a voice?
Yeah, she did say that. Funny how that works.
Then told us that, of course, she was still willing to watch him. Why would we assume she couldn't watch him?
Because she said she couldn't watch him.
Then Monday, she texts me and requests that my son and I join her at daycare on Wednesday because she has Bible study Tuesday and Thursday. With it being 6 weeks until her next baby is due, I texted her back saying I didn't think that I would be able to make it this week because I have a lot to do this week to get ready for the baby, so I need to be at home. I thought that was the end. She texts me back asking if my husband can just drop him off before work that day and pick him up afterwards. He works from 12 to 8:30 p.m. I text him and let him know we should talk through it because we've both generally been thinking about not doing daycare Monday through Thursday since, with that being his work schedule, it doesn't seem fair to our son. He goes to sleep there. But since she won't allow him to sleep over, we wake up around 11 to go home. After 2.5 hours, she sends me this passive-aggressive text. So this is a tough decision about having husband drop off grandson tomorrow. I thought you'd be pleased at this offer.
What? I don't even know what she's.
What?
She's saying, oh, since I didn't ask you,
Yeah.
I suggested someone else do it.
Yeah,
You
it's
should
like
be happy.
he's just the other parent who also isn't available. Like what?
And they share a car.
You're not helpful at all, mother-in-law.
I didn't text back because I was busy taking care of my son while running errands all day. Like I told her, I had a lot to do. I didn't think that 2.5 hours was enough time to get upset like that. She even called my husband to check and see if I was okay. Oh, man. Wouldn't I? Dude, if I'm married, I'm just thinking of Angie at this point.
Yeah.
If I'm married to Angie and someone calls me, hey, how's Angie feeling? I'd respond, you should probably check with her.
Yeah. Why are you calling me?
I
Like,
don't
why
know.
aren't you calling your son? Literal son.
Oh, boy. My husband then talked to her that night, and she went off the wall yelling at him. She talked about how we can't just hold it against her that she got sick. We weren't. We weren't even going to bring it up with her because people get sick, and sometimes she deserves time off. But she kept yelling at my husband for things like, oh, and thanks for not calling your mother this weekend to see how she was feeling since you knew she was sick, and how hard she works for us while she's watching our son.
Yeah. If you can afford anything else, or if you can bring her to your mom or your sister, this is not worth it.
It doesn't seem very mother-in-law of her
No,
to bring
no.
up, I'm doing so much for you.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah,
You
blah, blah,
owe
blah.
me. It's like you're
Yeah.
not doing this out of the kindness of your heart.
If this was actual love, love has no score.
No, she said the daycare was free, but there's no such thing as a free lunch. You're paying a lot, and
Yep.
it's through having to listen to her whining.
Yep, that's what that Jerry Seinfeld episode. Oh man, that's such a good one. Oh man, classic. And also, it's not that much extra work watching him now that he's 2 because he fits into her daycare. It's all about the daycare and how we don't appreciate how hard she works and that we can't consider her an unreliable form of childcare. She only calls and cancels on me because I'm not working, so it's fine. So basically, from what my husband told me, she admitted that she knowingly cancels on me without notice because she doesn't respect my time because I'm a stay-at-home mom. But I'm supposed to drop everything I'm doing during the day to answer her every text and call because she doesn't think I'm doing anything all day. Dude, this is I feel like my mom wrote this
Yeah.
because my grandma does this to my mom a lot.
Mm.
She's like, I can only be on my time, yada yada this, yada yada that. Can't do this all the time,
Yeah.
and it's hard. It's hard on my
Yeah,
mom because
it's
she
difficult.
she does work at the sawmill some, but she
Mhm.
is basically a stay-at-home mom, like
Yeah.
helping out with stuff. She's a point person for like basically 3 families.
Yeah. She's doing a lot of work.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
No, and I mean, like,
Ugh.
it's tricky for OP and her husband who are trying to, parent this new child and then
Yeah.
also have another one on the way and then have a mother-in-law or / his mom. Every time she helps, it comes with a side of, like,
Harassment.
Yeah, basically. And he brought up that I help her whenever I do stay during her daycare.
yeah, OP's always roped into being assistant.
She said that that's what I owed her, to say the least. Then we brought up how we're not paying her for daycare.
Yep, she's got to hold that over your head.
I just don't know what to do about the situation anymore. She has a tendency to throw temper tantrums whenever she doesn't exactly get her way. She will even do silent treatment as an adult to her adult children, which I don't feel is necessarily a healthy thing to do to resolve an issue. It just feels like an emotional manipulation to me. But again, I would love some perspective and help. My mother thinks we should just not use her daycare services and make her realize that she's then missing time with her only grandkid. I just don't know what to do. I've never met someone who has shown that much disrespect to me and felt justified in it. I obviously don't want to cut her off from seeing my son, but I don't want him growing up with such negativity and feeling unwanted. Advice? We got an update.
Yeah.
Again, the phone screen timeout.
Yeah. And I also think you don't necessarily have to cut her off from seeing her grandson, but
Yeah.
you at least cut her off from help, taking care of him at daycare.
Yeah.
Again, if you can afford it, somewhere else, because it's not worth having the aggravation and also the lack of reliability from her
Oh, yeah.
of constantly canceling on you. That's like that. You don't want that from a daycare.
Ugh, that's
from,
crazy.
Yeah, from any other professional daycare, that would not happen.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
Agreed. Update. We had to cancel last Friday with my mother-in-law because she caught us off guard, and I forgot how we made plans with my mom to go visit and my grandfather with the grandbabies in their Halloween costumes.
oh,
We told her we would drop off her son the next Friday. Turns out my grandfather was sent to the hospital with pneumonia Thursday night. We decided not to call her because it was late. We don't expect her to drop everything last minute for daycare. Maybe this was our mistake. But I feel like anything we would have done in this situation was wrong. Oh well, we found out that my grandfather had passed away on Halloween.
I'm so sorry.
It was a very sudden and shocked all of us. We haven't heard from her the rest of the week until we got an email from my husband's brother. It was one of the ugliest emails I've ever read. Basically, it said that we were horrible people and we've been rude and unthankful to my in-laws ever since my son was born. He could tell because of our body language. Also, apparently, they've changed their plans around to suit us. News to me, considering we've gone out of our way to adjust to my mother-in-law's schedule. And apparently, according to her, we've entirely disowned her and have threatened to never allow her to see Nathan again. All of this is new to me, but she has a history of
Yeah.
throwing tantrums and lying to get her way.
She's literally lying. And at this point now you know that she's got to lie to everyone around you to get her way. And that you can't put up with that.
Okay.
You have to set those boundaries and say, okay, oh, we're not thankful, then we won't take your services anymore. The easy fix.
No more Nathan for you.
Yeah. Ah ha ha. Funny.
We tried calling all of them immediately to schedule a time to talk in person because this has all gotten out of hand. All of their phones rang 3 times before going to voicemail. Turns out, all 3 of them were at lunch together. Haha.
Yeah, they're all emailing. You're like, "Nah, what should we say? Ooh, that's good.
My mother-in-law sent me a text saying that they were having lunch with my brother-in-law and wanted to do this talk in person. I responded and said I agreed. 3 hours later, they said that they were leaving my brother-in-law's place. It was 6:30. At the time, my son's bedtime was 7:30, so obviously this talk wasn't happening this weekend. I sent her a text last night asking when we should come over to talk. I've yet gotten a response. I've been really upset this whole time, crying several times because of the initial accusations. But I'm not sure what I should do. I don't quite know what action to take. I don't think it's going to be feasible to completely cut them out, but boundaries need to be made, obviously. I am just definitely feeling like this has been more of a power play than genuine emotional upset on her part. Mostly because nobody has been contacting us to try and set a time to sit down and resolve this.
Yeah,
Because they
it's
know
not.
what's up.
They know. They're trying to they know that you are in need of her help in taking care of your kid, or they think that you are. And so they're going to use that power to like assert their dominance
Yeah.
and or use that need of yours to assert their dominance. And you can set those boundaries and say, actually, we don't need you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go. I feel like if she was really feeling like we disowned her, wouldn't it be a priority to her to have contact us and schedule a time to resolve this? Am I wrong? I'm just not sure what course of action to take to cause the least amount of drama. I think I'm losing my voice.
No.
My husband has been fuming about this and will support his family, me and my son.
Nice.
That was it. Could have been another way.
Yeah.
No matter what, and you should matter about your next story you're gonna hear, because you can do that on your favorite freaking podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. Listen to these crazy stories we got for you.
Do it.
Do it.
But the craziest story of all is this mother.
Dude, we got an update.
Yikes. Well, you know what? Positives. Your husband's on your side.
Yeah.
He's not back in his crazy mom.
Oh my God.
And you're just gonna have to set boundaries, and it sucks. And I know you don't want to cut contact. You don't necessarily have to cut contact completely, but you definitely can't rely on her for daycare or any sort of.
Yeah, she's out of the question there.
Yep.
Salvage something, maybe.
Hopefully,
I don't
but
know.
not right now.
Spreading lies. It's not worth it.
No.
Update 2. My mother-in-law finally texted me and wanted to schedule a time to talk things out. My husband and I have talked and decided this is really her last chance. It isn't really feasible for us to completely cut contact out of our life, but if she's unwilling to accept anything we have to say, we're willing to go that route. We are going to stay strong with the facts and not get caught up in her gaslighting. We're also not going to talk without my father-in-law present. He has stuck up for us in the past during a situation where what we said was logical. We'll see how this goes, but honestly, I'm not going to get my hopes up that she'll listen. We're totally prepared to walk out for the long haul if we need to. It's become apparent that this has all just been a power play.
Yeah. I
And
think
that's it.
I think that's all you can do right now.
Yep.
Just like if you need to, create some boundaries and create
Yeah.
some walls.
Super smart to have a father-in-law there.
Yeah,
I like that.
absolutely. Yeah.
I think having everyone there getting ears about what's actually
exactly
happening.
instead of her spreading lies and manipulating people.
Maybe even get the brother-in-law involved.
Yeah, be like, hey, you thought you said all those nasty things to me. This is what actually is going on.
And you can listen but not say a word.
Yeah.
That's the end of that story. We got one more for you guys.
My mother-in-law treats me terribly, but acts innocent around my husband.
I didn't do anything.
I am a white female married to an Indian male, both in our 30s. While I understand in that culture, it is common to have your parents come to stay with you for months every year when living abroad, this situation feels crazy to me.
That's normal.
By the way, this comes from Fabulous Mango 4047, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, in the last 4 years, they have come 3 times, each time being longer than the last. This time around, they are here for 4 months, the whole summer. That's
Yay.
wild.
Not girl summer.
Mm-mm.
Parent summer.
These are my issues with their visits and why I told my husband I can no longer handle them living in the house with us. Personal hygiene and cleanliness are a huge issue. They don't wash their hands after going to the bathroom or before cooking or touching food. Yuck. They don't clean up after themselves. And if mother-in-law sometimes washes dishes, she does a terrible job. I can still see her lipstick on the cups after she washes them. When father-in-law uses the bathroom, he pees all over the floor every time. Are these children?
What?
Ew.
Get some aim, dog.
Sometimes a few spots on the floor, other times full-on puddles. Ew.
What?
The first time that had happened, I would talk to my husband immediately and be like, this is unacceptable and gross and I won't live like this.
Or get the
Potty train them or
yeah.
get them
pee
out.
pads. Get them some pee pads, a litter box.
They both wear sandals in the house and walk in it without without
this is
realizing it and track it all over the house. Are these like dogs?
Magno!
Like they're walking in their own pee? This is insane. These are adults. How are they acting like this?
That's just how they live, man.
I should note there are some health and balance issues with father-in-law, but he has too much pride to accept or use any type of medical devices and guards on the toilet to help him or sit down to pee. I am usually the one cleaning it up. Literally,
No.
Nope.
no. I'd
Nope.
be like, hey, husband, you clean this up right now.
They're your
or get your
parents.
parents out of my house. I'm not cleaning
Yeah.
up your dad's pee.
Ew.
They both never leave the house the whole day, so there's no privacy or space from them. Mother-in-law is quite rude and ignores me when I speak or just cuts me off anytime I try to talk. She plays it off innocent with my husband like she doesn't realize she's doing that and doesn't mean to, but I don't buy that. Mother-in-law will act very different when my husband isn't around. All kinds of small things that add up. For example, if I'm mopping the floors, she'll walk over the spot I just finished mopping. They can be pretty destructive to our home and usually break quite a few things when they come, like cupboards and doors from slamming them too aggressively, not using exhaust fans when taking showers so mold grows, etc. They use mothballs back in their home in India. When they come here, everything they bring reeks like mothballs, and I never ever have been able to fully get the smell out of the room they stay in. Mothball fumes are highly toxic, and we also have a cat. If they leave the door open, the smell goes through the rest of the house and stinks for hours.
Oh my gosh.
They show zero signs of empathy, remorse, or any other feelings towards how they affect us or our home. It seems as though they genuinely don't care about anyone but themselves. Mother-in-law expects my husband to pay for everything for them and shows no appreciation, not even a simple thank you. When my husband tries to talk to them about their behavior, mother-in-law sends him a massive text message guilt-tripping us for having some type of living standards and boundaries. These messages will be things along the lines of, we will just leave and never come back. Yeah, please. I'll just stay in India with little money in my bank account while you live your life here, even though it's because of me you got to move in the first place. I could write a novel with all the specific moments that have happened in the last 3 visits. These have been ongoing issues every time they come, and it only gets worse. I also can't help but feel that mother-in-law is very calculated and manipulative and knows exactly what she's doing. I sometimes wonder if she's trying to push me out. Yeah! Yes! She's absolutely trying to push you out of the house. This is like psychological warfare. This is
Dude.
crazy. And if your husband, either one, go talk to your husband, say, this is what's been going on.
Yeah.
And if he says anything other than, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll get them out, then have a
Done.
way more serious conversation or leave.
He needs to go talk to that 19-year-old boy we read about
Yeah. He's much more mature than this guy.
Because you are family now. And if
Mhm.
your extended family isn't wanting to listen, you got to get him out of there.
Agreed. So am I the a-hole for putting my foot down and refusing to allow these long-term visits in the future, even though she's saying she has no money? Well, then why is she spending money on a flight? She was considering buying a second property in India, so I don't believe that. I think they are fully capable of getting a short-term rental when they come. And there is an update, but no, you're not the a-hole.
No.
No, I would demand that. I'd be like, no, they're not staying here. They're disgusting. They're
Ew.
leaving their little pee puddles everywhere. Gross.
boundaries.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Mm-mm.
Ugh.
And your husband needs to go to therapy if he's like, oh, well, they're my family. I get like, no. If they're not going to respect the house, bye.
Good riddance.
But there is an update, and I'm really hoping that OP
No more pee
knocks
puddles.
some sense into her husband.
Ugh. That's the pee puddles for me.
No, it's disgusting. And the tracking them through the house.
That's Sophia's thing.
My husband sees the issue here and has spoken to them multiple times about these issues. They just never change or don't care. I think he's stuck in a tough place because he doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I do. I spoke to him and told him bluntly how I feel and that I don't want any future long-term visits. He agrees with me. I just hope this doesn't cause resentment one day and ruin our marriage. I mean, you already have resentment for his parents, so if they stay here, you're going to have resentment for sure.
Yeah.
If they don't, you might have resentment, but you can work it out. He's amazing, and it would be devastating to divorce over his parents. Like I said, his mom is a master at guilt tripping and making him feel like a terrible person. And there is a second update. My in-laws will officially no longer be staying with us. Hooray!
We won.
Yay!
Let's go.
Since my original post, I started noticing things misplaced in my and my husband's room.
Oh.
I know it sounds crazy of me, but she definitely brings it out of me. I asked my husband if he's okay with it if I set up a camera in the room and arm it when he and myself are both gone. He agreed, so I set it up. I now have video footage of my mother-in-law going in the room, rummaging through everything thoroughly like she owns the place and everything in it. I also watched her steal some of my items out of our room. When I got home from work, I noticed she left a sweater in there while she was busy trying on my blouses and stealing one of them.
What?
I confronted her with it, and she gave me some lame excuse after first pretending she didn't know what it was.
Bro.
I then asked her bluntly if she had been rummaging through my room. Of course, she lied and then sent me very long text messages trying to guilt trip me and make me feel terrible for accusing her of such things. I won't get into too much detail of the text since it was basically a short novel, but to sum it up, it was saying how shocked she was at my accusations, how she's basically the best person ever and would never do anything like that, and how everyone loves her, how I hurt her feelings. The actual text in full would blow your mind. It really goes to show how manipulative and good of a liar she is. I did give her some opportunities over the next week after to come clean and be honest without forcing her to by showing her the videos. She didn't. Instead, just trashed me some more. So I showed her the videos in private and let her watch herself stealing. She still just kept repeating that she wasn't stealing and had some other dumb excuses.
How's
Yeah, of
her-
course she does.
How's her hands not red?
Yeah.
What?
No, she's been caught red-handed and she's like, no, this is, my hands just look like that normally.
That's someone else.
That's someone else's hands.
That's AI.
And she's like, that we're in person. She's like, it's AI. I don't know how they do it. I have showed my husband as well, and he no longer wants them to stay here in the future either.
Let's
Finally,
go.
you got some proof. Because without the proof, she probably would have been like, your wife is accusing me, and I never would do that. She's a liar.
How does the husband not have her? What? This is wild.
So I guess I never had to put my foot down. She basically banned herself from staying with us. Nice. My husband has yet to talk to her about the videos. Update 3.
We have a third one?
The third update, and I
Oh
hope
my
it's
gosh.
my
They're
husband my husband cut off his mom.
Or like the parents went homeless until
Yeah.
they got their flight back home?
Oh, yikes. Hopefully not that,
Oh.
but I hope they're home and not
Oh.
here. Update 3. My husband finally had the talk with his mom. It took so long because she doesn't want her husband to know about any of this. So she'll only talk about it when he is sleeping before her or away from the property, which never happens. We didn't get any type of reaction we would have wanted or hoped for. She gave him a meaningless sorry and said she didn't know why she did it. Just tried to blame it on issues she has with her husband. She never fully accepted or admitted to all of the things she did. My husband also tried to ask her if she had an issue with me based on her behavior every single visit. She also said no issues. I was really hoping she would take this time to be honest and put everything on the table to maybe work through any issues. But obviously that will never happen. He did tell her that they will no longer be welcome to stay with us in the future for any amount of time. They would have to get their own place or short-term rental. By the way, you're welcome to stay with us and listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Boom.
But there is a little bit left to this story.
Dude.
Any final thoughts?
We won. We did it.
You won. You won the war. She's
I-
out.
And
Or she's
also,
leaving.
you have blackmail
Yeah, you
have a
literal
video proof. Of her. This is horrible, but you have video proof of her stealing
Yeah.
that she doesn't want her husband to know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if she keeps acting out, guess who's going to know?
Yep. I guess that's the way it's got to be. Or she could just leave.
Yeah.
She and her husband can go.
That sounds
And if they
better.
want to come visit, they can go get a place. Stay in a hotel. I don't care.
Just
Stay
please
away from
leave.
us.
You and your pee puddles can go somewhere else.
Disgusting. Now we just wait out the last 2-ish weeks till they leave. We don't speak to each other at all except for her fake good morning in front of her husband so he doesn't suspect her of any wrongdoing. She likes to blame him for everything that goes wrong and doesn't like to recognize her own faults. Selfishly, I was hoping it would make her want to leave sooner after my husband called her out for her behavior because we now have to redo a bathroom and a half. Father-in-law flooded the basement bathroom and, as you know, pissed all over the other one. Yikes.
What?
And redo the bedroom they stay in because of the mothball smell. And also because it's super awkward and uncomfortable in the house.
Dang.
Get her out.
Get her out and send her an invoice.
Please, yeah, I'd be like, hey, this is for all the damages that you guys caused in the house, and also emotional damages because I hate
Ugh.
you guys.
Ah.
Terrible.
How? How do people live like this?
I have no idea. But good on you for standing up for yourself and your husband for listening to you and standing up
Yep.
for himself.
Let's go pee outside, I guess.
Please. You're not trusted to do it inside.
My now sister-in-law chose my brother over me, so I refused to comfort her.
Traitor!
I, 25 male, used to have the biggest crush on my childhood friend Emily, 26 female. As a teen, I wasn't very assertive and a little awkward, so I never made a move and just hoped that one day Emily would realize that I was the guy for her. The only person who I openly admitted my crush, although it was kind of obvious, was to my brother Lee. 28. He was much more assertive and confident than I was and would run through girls like water, so I went to him for advice about Emily. This comes from u/routinele2090. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, given the situation at the time, you can imagine my surprise when I caught Liam and Emily hooking up. I know that she technically was never my girlfriend, but it still sucked and I did feel betrayed. Turns out they hooked up at a party once and liked the encounter so much that they kept meeting up to do it when no one was around.
Why is this being written this way? They liked the encounter so much.
That he walked through water. I felt completely sick and basically just distanced myself from Emily after that, which could be really awkward because we had a lot of classes together and had the same shift at the part-time job we had. A job that Emily frequently depended on me to give her rides to. Oh my God. I just wanted to remove Emily from my life completely, but during the summer of our senior year, she and Liam sat me and my parents down and explained that Emily had gotten pregnant and were planning on keeping the baby.
Rough, dude.
Damn. My parents weren't happy while I just got up and locked myself in my room. All I could think was, well, crap, now she's never going to go away. I purposely transferred to an out-of-state college so I wouldn't be stuck at home as much and lied about getting stuck in traffic when I missed Emily and Liam's wedding and showed no interest in my niece Daisy, 8 female. Although I still make an effort to be polite when I'm. Recently, Emily's father has passed away, and she's really going through it because despite him not being around, she always desired. When we were kids, I remember all those times I was a shoulder for Emily to cry on whenever she felt sad about her dad, and I guess she was longing for that type of comfort from me and kept reaching out. One day I relented and let her vent, but I maintained a silent and formal demeanor on the matter. After spending about an hour crying, I offered Emily some water, and then she asked me why I was being so cold. How I know how much she needed a friend right now. I calmly yet firmly told her that we were just kids then, and that if she wants that level of emotional intimacy, then she needs to go to my brother, her husband, because I stopped being her comfort person a long time.
That's really harsh. However, I do kind of agree with him.
I get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Because she should go to her husband.
Exactly. She shouldn't rely on this person who, like, putting my thoughts on OP's feelings and, like, how he's treated this woman for 8 years aside, putting that aside, it's like, why would you want to go to someone who clearly doesn't like you and has been very cold towards you
And
for
I feel
emotional
like
comfort?
Liam knows that he liked her.
Yeah.
Emily cried even more, left, and has managed to send Liam, my parents, Emily's mom, and mutual friends to call me up and tell me I'm heartless and sad for being so spiteful. I can honestly say that I am now over Emily, but that doesn't mean I'm willing to be as close to her as I used to be. So am I the asshole?
Yes for some things, no for others is my answer.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like I've
for
what were you
not
saying?
being there for her, but also, well, not even for not being there for her, because he didn't have to be, but
No.
maybe he could have nicer about it.
I think his treatment of her after she decided to be with his brother, weird, bad, embarrassing. You need to get over her. But I guess it took him 8 years. He finally is over her. However, they haven't been close in all of that time, and now she's
Right.
requiring a lot of emotional bandwidth from him. I don't think you're the a-hole for not wanting or being able to give that to her.
100, a-hole for ghosting them for 8 years.
Yeah.
Not the a-hole. The verdict on here was a-hole.
Probably from all the stuff, the prior stuff. Yeah.
There's some comments. Comments were split on this, so we're providing. You're the a-hole comments. Agreeable Celery 811. You had a crush in high school on a girl, but never asked her out. Somebody else did, and then she married them. It's a decade later, and you still ignore her kid, who is literally your niece, because you're salty about it.
Yeah, you're the a-hole for that.
Dude, this isn't healthy. Please get help. I have to put you're the a-hole, but like this is beyond am I the a-hole. Someone actually 89. He never told her what his feelings were, but he's going to punish her kid for not taking responsibility for his feelings. Big yikes, you're the a-hole. Peter Rock Daydream. Your brother was the crappy one here. Not Emily, who didn't know he had a crush on her, or her child, who has nothing to do with this. OP has clearly not moved on. OP responds, agreed, I was more angry with my brother than Emily. Majestic go-go pogo. You've spent 9 years being so bitter. That's really sad for you. I don't think you're the a-hole for telling Emily you can't be that person for her, but you're definitely the a-hole for spending so much time being angry and obstinate.
That's what we said.
Yeah. Don't spend the rest of your life like this. It will only bring more of this. Lady Lorand, big nice guy energy here. You literally F-zoned her, since by your own words, you only kept being her friend because you were waiting for her to fall for you. She fell for your brother instead, and you got bitter AF because she suddenly was damaged goods to the point you don't even want a relationship with your niece. She never knew how you felt. Even your brother probably thought it was just a childhood crush. Then you acted like a total a-hole by punting her while she's down after practically ghosting her emotionally for 8 years. Wow. She should thank her lucky stars she got the brother and not you if you're going to behave. 100% you're the a-hole and you need therapy to work through this unresolved obsession.
Yeah.
Dang. That's about right. Okay, then we have some not the a-hole comments.
Let's see how these...
From Sphinx Link, going against the grain, not the a-hole. I've had besties and stepsisters that pulled the same crap as your brother. If she cared about your friendship that much, she wouldn't have been messing with your brother. The fact that you had to catch on to the situation and she never told you bestie speaks volumes. Just because she had his kid doesn't mean the disrespect never happened, and quite frankly, you're right. I don't agree with that.
I'm sorry, that they're saying that she owed it to it. That we never were told that they were besties. They worked together, they were in classes together, and she got rides from him. I don't know if that's bestie.
She could have been looking for the brother that whole time.
Yeah, I don't think she owed it to him to tell him that she was, you know.
ever owe a man anything?
Yeah, seeing her brother. And also, it was in high school.
Right.
It literally happened in high school. You do have to get over that.
You need to get over that. So bad. She can't get the support from her husband that she needs and wants to play the bestie card now that she needs you to do emotional labor for ha ha ha. No. She can get a therapist for her daddy issue. However, it's time to stop lying. Tell them both why you can never trust either of them. You really thought the pain of your brother and best friend lying to you and effing around behind your back would get better with time, but it's not going to. Your brother is a creep for having spicy sleep with her while she was still in high school, and you know it. Then add in the added grossness of him knowing full well this was the only person you were interested in. He was a spicy-related predator before he was with her, and he's probably still doing predatory crap that will come out in time. Break away from all of it.
I'm like, literally, did I miss something in this story that this commenter saw?
I feel like this commenter's been through their own
The commenter's
crap.
like, that's crazy. Again, also, did they say they were best friends? Was that? I thought they were just
did
like
talk about being pretty close as friends,
yeah.
but it wasn't like, oh my god, we're besties.
Yeah, because I feel like for me, best friend is pretty different than like close friend who I like hang out with and like chat and like I work with.
And also, if you are considering yourself as besties at this time, you might have friend zoned her.
Yeah, that's
she might just be like, yeah, this is my bestie that drives me to work where we work together.
Yeah.
So, oh, and talk to somebody professional. You still have much to process that I believe will affect future romance. Gray is my color, says not the a-hole. The question was, am I the a-hole for telling my former friend turned sister-in-law that I'm never going to be her comfort person again? You're the a-hole posters are deliberately missing the point. Let's imagine OP never had a crush on sister-in-law. It would still be incredibly inappropriate for him to serve as her comfort person. OP's former feelings are irrelevant to the issue at hand. He was right. She needs to seek that level of intimate comfort from her husband. Throwing around phrases like incel behavior or nice guy syndrome is just ridiculous. People are allowed to create boundaries to protect themselves. They're also allowed to be too shy or awkward or inexperienced to speak up about their feelings. Nowhere in this post does OP use verbiage that would indicate he felt entitled to Emily's affection. He's allowed to have felt deeply hurt over his brother's betrayal. He's allowed to have felt deeply hurt over Emily being with his brother. Actions have consequences. Emily chose to sleep with her close friend's brother. The consequence is she lost a close friend. Edit to add, had to step away, and after looking at the comments and DMs, I just wanted to be clear about some things. Not an incel. Did I exhibit some nice guy traits as a teenager? Yes. As an adult, I now realize that Emily doesn't owe me a romantic relationship. I was more angry at my brother than I was Emily because, you know, he was my brother and knew. I don't see how me not taking an active role in the life of a child that I didn't make is punishing someone. I say hello and give gifts on Christmas and holidays. Again, Emily is married, so I find it odd that she would seek out someone who isn't her husband for emotional support. Yes, I did give my condolences when I found out about Emily's father because it was the polite thing to do. Then she started trying to call me to talk about it. Emily and I haven't had a meaningful contact since high school, partly because she was busy getting ready to be a mom and I was hurt and trying to get over. No, Liam and I aren't close anymore. Edit to add 2. Things I didn't include because of word count. Yes, I have a girlfriend, and from what I can tell, we're both very happy. Yes, my girlfriend knows about my former crush on Emily. Yes, I have friends who are women. Yes, I do believe people of the opposite gender can just be friends when they're adults. Also, in spite of everything, I did learn to be more forthcoming with my feelings, which is why I told Emily that I can't be her comfort. Although I will admit that there could have been a better way and better timing to communicate that.
Probably.
Relevant comments after the edit. Kilua Tuner, you're the a-hole. Look, man, I get that your brother did this and was an a-hole, but honestly, you're taking this one way too far. If one childhood crush is this devastating that you're moving states and ignoring nieces and families, this means you should go to therapy to help process the pain. Also, you never really told her you liked her, so how would she know? When she came to you, she came to someone who she could rely on, and you went, go to the guy that actually wants. That's really immature. Edit 2, replying to OP's edit. I mean, it really shows he still needs some growing to do. I mean, he only said condolences because it was the polite thing to do. Dude, she's your sister-in-law and was your childhood friend that did nothing to you. How? By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update.
I still think that OP is not an a-hole for like saying, hey, like, we're not close. I can't give you that emotional support.
Right.
But I do think I want to like kind of dig into why Emily did that.
I want to know why her husband wasn't already hurt.
Well, I'm wondering if he is. And she's just thinking, it's been 8 years. Why did I lose that friendship with OP? What happened there? You know what? Like, he reached out to me saying
Right.
condolences. Maybe I'm going to reach out to him and like, we used to have that rapport. I don't know why we lost it. Maybe it's because motherhood got busy. And this is all the things that she's thinking.
I could totally.
Yeah.
She's just finally now like, he reached out and
Yeah.
wants to talk. Let's talk.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean that OP needs to give her that at
No.
all. I'm just thinking like, again, she literally didn't do anything wrong. And so I'm wondering if that was her thought process. He still has a right to be like, boundary.
100%. He can
Maybe
still put
could have
that
said
back.
it respectfully.
Update. Okay, I've stepped away, and after coming back and seeing the 1,000 of commenters and Reddit's verdict, I can accept the way I told Emily that I couldn't be her comfort person anymore was wrong. The
Mhm.
timing especially. I do not feel bad about being honest where I stand with her. I am not sorry about keeping my distance, and I've yet to regret not pursuing a relationship with my brother's daughter. I don't know if Emily ever found out about my feelings for her because it was never discussed, but I don't see how telling her now would change anything. I am truly over her and happy with my girlfriend. I would never pick Emily over my girlfriend, and I've yet to see a reason why I need to rekindle a friendship with her in order to prove it to anyone. My brother betrayed me, he knew how I felt, and still went after Emily, and I refuse to ever be close with him again. Over it. That is my boundary, and so far it's been working out well for me, and the day our parents pass away is the day I cut Liam out of my life.
But that's the end of that story. My mother-in-law thinks I stole her son. Now she's turning her family against me.
Maybe you should put it back then.
Put him back.
So me, 18 female, and my boyfriend, 19 male, have been together for almost 2 years. We have known each other since 5th grade, became good friends somewhere in elementary school, but only dated since 10th grade with a break during the summer so we could solve some personal issues. By the way, this comes from Eli2222. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, initially his mother liked me and wanted to meet and have a conversation. But it all went downhill last year when I didn't recognize her and didn't greet her. Since then, I've been disrespectful in her eyes. From that moment, she started picking fights whenever me and my boyfriend hung out. Last year, I moved alone into my parents' apartment, and I proposed to my boyfriend to have sleepovers once a week since we didn't have a car yet, and we only hang out outside of malls.
Oh, I thought you proposed. to
I know,
him.
I thought, yeah, I was like, propose, and then, no,
What?
proposed to have sleepovers.
I see.
He was on board, but on the night he had to come, his mother started guilt tripping him about leaving her all alone or not caring about his sick grandma and how not having him there will unalive her. Yes, him being gone for one night will end his grandma.
Checks out. Yeah, grandma wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Grandma probably doesn't even notice.
Yeah, if grandma's that sick, she is not aware that her grandson is in and out of the house at all. Boyfriend lives with his mom and grandma. The plan was abolished and we only hung out during the day. Around this time, she started insulting me to my boyfriend in many ways. Some examples are substance user, because she heard me and boyfriend on the phone when she tried to guilt trip him again. Cultist, because apparently a man can only leave his mom when he's in a cult. Gold digger, because my boyfriend brought me gifts for my birthday and anniversary. Yes, OP, the 18-year-old, is a gold digger for being in a relationship with a 19-year-old who I can guarantee has little to no money.
Yeah, he has no assets.
Which, because I will for sure cheat on him. Peasant, because my parents moved to the countryside to work in agriculture, and many others.
She's
She's grasping at straws.
What, peasant? Because your
Yeah.
family's like farmers?
Farmers? That's insane.
Bro.
That's crazy.
Also, part of a cult, leaving your mom for
Yeah.
another woman. That's called marriage.
That's just called marriage, girl. Of course, my boyfriend started picking fights because of this behavior with her, and all the hopes of a relationship with her crumbled. Meanwhile, father-in-law bought him a car, and we started going away on holidays or having sleepovers on occasion, like my birthday, New Year, anniversary, etc. Fast forward half a year since I want to get to the point of this story. There haven't been any major conflicts during this time, only insults mostly. Me and boyfriend finished our final high school exam. He turned 19, and we graduated. We had a sleepover for his 19th birthday where she tried to guilt trip him again, saying instead of starting this new chapter of your life together, you go and start it with somebody else.
Your mother is obsessed with you, dude. Like the mother-in-laws in this compilation video. All annoying, every single one of them. And check it out on our compilations channel after this story. Yikes.
This is like Oedipus, but like
this-
in this version of Oedipus, your mom is actually obsessed with you.
I thought, what's that? Motel Bates?
Hotel bait.
Hotel Bates?
Hotel. Is that?
I don't know.
The Bates,
Bates
Motel.
thing? Yeah, something like that.
I haven't
Bates
seen
in a motel or hotel?
it. Yeah,
Is it that?
it's that.
Ugh.
Which raised alarm bells for both of us because of emotional genetic copy pasting. BS we've seen all over the internet with boy moms. Boyfriend got an incredible ick from this and came over with no problems. He's like, yeah, I gotta go. He got better over the months with managing her guilt tripping. I feel like when she lays it on that thick, I mean, like sometimes
gotta get out
like
of
fall
there.
like further and further into this hole of being like, oh yeah, I have to listen to what my mom says. But sometimes they lay it on so thick, you're like, oh, my mom's crazy. Ugh. A week later, we decided to do the big step with a form of moving in together, staying together from Thursday to Monday every week. So not actually fully moving in together, it seems, which she had known about since I got the apartment. She freaked out and tried everything to make him stay home, bringing his grandma into this and everything. Your grandma's gonna die.
Oh my god.
You're not alive, your grandma.
Dude.
The week went fine, and he only had to deal with a ton of guilt tripping and false crying when he got home. A crucial detail is that she's a singer but barely gets any concerts. Maybe because she sucks. But I don't know. She signed a contract for a concert Saturday across the country, and she expected her son to drive her there without any confirmation. Boyfriend said that he won't drive her, but she started again with immense guilt tripping, crying, screaming, basically throwing a tantrum. That same night, we almost fought because he's tired of this behavior and just wants to get it done so she can leave him alone. But I'm against the idea of keeping the peace when she keeps pulling conflicts out of nowhere.
Dude, this is wild.
Yeah.
Also, name a country you'd be okay with driving your mom across. What country is so small that you'd be okay with driving your mom across?
Vatican.
I
I would go further from my mother.
know,
I was just
but
trying
what's
to
like
find
a
the small-
reasonable
yeah.
last minute, I'll drive you across the country.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
country
yeah.
would you have to be in at that moment?
Let us know, folks. What country would you be okay driving your mom across?
Last minute.
Same story. Boyfriend goes to pick me up from my parents on Thursday so we can go home. But unexpectedly, his mother calls me. She got the number from his phone when he was sleeping and threatened to call me and my parents many times. The convo went like this, shortened because I don't remember every word. We talked for 4 minutes. Hi, Eli.
Hi?
I'm boyfriend's mom.
Okay.
I think you heard that I signed a contract for X City and boyfriend needs to drive me for that. He told me he can't drive me.
His mom.
Because he had to attend some party and stay with you for the weekend?
Yeah, I don't understand why you're calling me and how you have my number. I'm pretty sure this is a dispute with your adult son who can choose for himself, not with me. And I'm pretty sure he has no obligation towards something that wasn't communicated and agreed upon with him.
Don't you hear yourself? He can't drive me because you forced him to leave his mom hanging, and don't you raise your voice at me.
I'm not raising my voice, and I don't think your son can be forced at 18. You can go by train. I can send you the links for booking a ticket if it's so hard to find alternatives. And don't try to parent me. Not even my mom does that. And do you think you can?
So you want me to go by train with luggage for an entire day while he drives you around? That's it. I'm calling your parents to tell them about this. Mind you, I was respectful during the entire conversation, just fed up with her drama, especially calling me to complain about her non-existent relationship with boyfriend. After this, I texted her that my parents are busy people and to not even try to bother them with this since they'll take my and my boyfriend's side.
My favorite part
Yeah.
of this altercation was she had to ask permission for OP, which is another woman basically wrangling the son around
Yeah.
for the permission. It's like he can't choose for himself. It's like,
exactly.
yeah.
It's like, oh no, I have to get you to give him permission. Otherwise, he won't listen. It's like,
Yeah, he has a new owner now, so
he's
I gotta ask them.
19. He's 19. He's making his own choices.
I didn't know you could make your own choices at 19.
What?
I
That's
thought you had to be like 20.
crazy. I thought you became an adult at 21.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, wait, I don't have to listen to what my mom says. That's just
No
advice.
way. She continued to text me about how she is his mom, his priority, etc. One text that stuck was, I raised him and it would be nice for this to do the same, which had us disgusted once again. The conversation ended with a text from me telling her to lose my number and to stop this whole show because we're all adults. Meanwhile, boyfriend called her, told her she's out of line, stupid, and to stay away from his relationship. She didn't talk with him for the entire weekend. But Friday afternoon, father-in-law called, because mother-in-law called him, to meet up and discuss this. Mother-in-law told father-in-law that boyfriend ran away from home, that he disrespected her and encouraged me to do the same, that she has no one by her side now, and if he can drive her to her concert on Saturday, she's going to anyone.
Just get a,
Girl, just get a
get
train.
a train. Get
Anything.
flight.
Yeah, come on, girl. Saturday morning, his cousin and aunt called boyfriend and asked to meet up to talk. They met up in the evening and discussed the whole situation. She insisted on him still being by his mother's side, but also understanding how difficult she is. That we can be together, but family comes first, or that she wants to meet me because she doesn't believe I am as bad as mother-in-law makes me look. Boyfriend went home yesterday, but mother-in-law said she's too tired to talk. Yeah, sure. And that she'll have a conversation with him tomorrow. Overall, boyfriend is pretty overwhelmed and mad. And I'm just upset. I have an okay relationship with father-in-law. We talk on video call from time to time when boyfriend stays with me, and kind of that's all. He's not a reliable person in this whole ordeal, so we keep our distance. His aunt is okay-ish. I've never had a conversation with her, but she's from my countryside, so I heard things about her from my dad. And there is an update.
Goodness gracious.
I don't think you have to he has to listen to his aunt.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think you have that conversation with him and continue being on his side and saying whatever you want to do is fine by me.
Support.
But your mother doesn't get to treat you like this. You don't get to just deal. You don't have to deal with her kind of terrible attitude and terrible behavior.
Bag boy, drive me.
Yeah, that's not okay. You're an adult. She
Yeah.
doesn't get to demand things from you.
How, dude? How does it get to this point?
Yeah. I mean, she's probably been this way his whole life.
True.
And it's just about getting her way. And she's like the sweetest person when she gets her way. And then OP
Yeah.
slightly offends her. And she's like, well, now you're my enemy for life.
Out of here. Oh, dude. Mothers.
Don't
Please-
behave like this.
Please don't do this.
Don't behave like this.
Please
Don't
don't do
treat
this.
your son like your husband. Like
Yo.
you have this weird possessive relationship with him. Like that's weird. It's not okay.
Dang. Huge right there.
But there is an update. Mother-in-law cried and tried to hug boyfriend during the whole conversation. Boyfriend said that there's going to be stronger boundaries from now on, that he will not accept being disrespected or hearing her talk crap about our relationship or me. Mother-in-law tried to protest, saying she was the one disrespected when I told her to go by train and when I shouted at her. But boyfriend shut that up quickly by pointing out he said the same thing. Why is it disrespectful when I do it, but not when he does? Because she's in love with her son. Mother-in-law tried to insist that no family of theirs likes me. She doesn't like me because I'm disrespectful and drift boyfriend away from them. Father-in-law doesn't like me simply because he doesn't like me. Paternal grandma doesn't like me because both times I came to her place, I had a full face of makeup on. The horror. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And the aunt from the previous story won't accept someone with my behavior because she has a son the same age as boyfriend. Boyfriend said he doesn't believe her since she constantly lies to make her story more appealing,
Oh my god.
and that if they really think about me like this, then contact is going to be limited. He won't be close with people who disrespect his girlfriend and relationship.
Dude, this
Good
is
on
so
your boyfriend.
crazy.
I mean, we always have stories where we have a son who's super enmeshed with his family and
Yeah.
stuff and always listens to his mommy. And usually those guys are much older than your boyfriend.
This guy, yeah.
And he's acting a lot more maturely than those guys are. So props to him for that.
Because there's a point where the family's like, we don't like her because of X, Y, and Z, but everything they're
Yeah.
saying is
no
false and it
nonsense.
doesn't sound right.
Yeah. If your whole family doesn't like your partner, maybe look at what they're saying, see if there's any truth to that.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's it's just the whole family.
Yeah. Ugh.
Boyfriend told mother-in-law about his perspective of the situation. Girlfriend wanting to stand up for him when his own mother pushes boundaries. And my perspective. Mother-in-law randomly calling me to complain and gaslight me, then getting mad when I don't bend over. He said insults about me are, of course, off limits. And this will never be up for discussion. Not even if I did something bad to him. Mother-in-law tried to defend herself, saying she'll stop the insults when I stop insulting her. Telling her to take the train is an insult now, apparently. Boyfriend shut that BS down. This was the longest point in their conversation, but it doesn't include me. You can skip it if you want. Mother-in-law stressed him about his future, saying it's time to choose a uni and a career path. Every time somebody asks boyfriend about his future plans, he just says, I don't know, or I'll figure it out. Because who has their life figured out at 19? All his family insists on police academy, 4 years, or police school, 10 months. Boyfriend's open to police school to some degree, but doesn't like the fact that he will only come home once every 2 weeks. His mother will try to guilt trip him into staying those days with her instead of me. We will be separated for 10 months by 250 kilometers, definitely European, because if they were in Canada, that would be crazy to go across the country.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely European. And pretty much the aspect of being a policeman sucks. He's in it for the salary he gets right out of school if he gets the job in or near our city. Mother-in-law found out where my parents live and boyfriend got mad and said that if she steps foot near their house, He will move out and cut all contact with her until she passes away.
Oh my gosh.
Good on, honestly, good on. He's
Wow.
like, yeah, he's putting up those boundaries. They're strong boundaries. Don't go harass my girlfriend's parents. Mother-in-law panicked and said she won't go there. Why would she try to find their address then? Because she's not the type to start conflicts?
Well, she called your parents to try to dispute it.
I don't think, did she call?
She did. I'm going to call your parents. She threatened it.
Oh, yeah. I don't
did,
know
but
if she had their phone
threatened it.
numbers. I think she was just threatening things. Overall, mother-in-law is trying to act nice right now so she can get boyfriend's trust back. Won't happen. Or to get him in a comfortable position to start an argument again. Now to some minor parts of the story. Mother-in-law insists I'm dragging boyfriend down and that his academic performance went down since he's been dating me. She asked about my final exam grade and was bitter when she heard I got an 8.85. Boyfriend got an 8.88, but I still think she's in denial about it. By the way, you should never be in denial about how many full episodes of stories just like this we have. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Boom.
But there is a little bit left to this story.
I know one of you has been in a situation
Yeah.
like this before.
With a crazy mother-in-law.
I feel like I kind of have, where my ex's parents didn't want me around because her brother didn't like me.
Yikes.
And so he's like, hey, you have to leave now. He's coming home. You have to leave.
That's so weird.
It really was weird.
That's
And
so strange.
I couldn't go out the same exit he was coming in.
What?
Yeah, because he was going to like fight me or
insane.
something.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If I would parents that kid, I'd be like, you need to get over it.
He was 27,
That's
still living with his parents. I had a full
crazy.
salary.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
He was jealous.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
was weird. It
No,
was
that
really
is
weird.
a weird.
That guy was not
relationship.
really set up for success by his family.
No. And the mother-in-law is trying her best to not set up her son for success. But you're doing great, dude. You're trying to get out of there. You're trying to set those boundaries. Keep going. You
Yeah.
seemingly got nice girlfriend in OP. And just, find the family members who are on your side and kind of keep your distance from the ones that aren't.
Boom.
Mother-in-law told boyfriend about how much father-in-law hates me. Boyfriend is taking this with a grain of salt, but is still extremely concerned and angry. So he refused to meet with father-in-law or let him speak to me until they have a conversation and boyfriend figures out who's lying. As of today, mother-in-law has mostly respected boundaries. No fights, no calls during our days together, nothing. Boyfriend hasn't talked to father-in-law yet since he has distanced himself from him a lot. Grandma, mother-in-law's mom, gave boyfriend money with the condition that he leaves me. Yikes. Oh, so the grandma is also on mom's side. She's like, if take this money, take it and leave her or I'll pass away and it'll be your fault.
What?
Yikes.
Well, it's inherited, I guess.
Yeah, honestly.
Because she brought up you're going to unalive your grandma
Yeah.
if you don't come home.
Get that
Grandma
inheritance
gave
money.
that idea to her.
Mhm.
Like, hey, use me in that excuse. Try to
Use it.
see if he can stay.
Really stick it in there.
What?
Mother-in-law started arguing with her to shut up about me. Oh, okay. Now she's on your guys' side because she knows what'll happen if she's not. Or boyfriend will not come home to them anymore. So the conversation she had with boyfriend probably struck a nerve. At least it worked. She very clearly thinks that her prizes her relationship with her son
Dude,
in a very unhealthy way, but
how
Still.
many jars is this guy opening around the house?
yeah.
How many light bulbs is this man fixing?
Ay.
How many plumbing issues is he taking tending to?
I don't know. It's too helpful around the house. But that is the end of that story. Keep doing what you're doing, OP, and your boyfriend, keep doing what he's doing.
And this
It'll
is
be
a
okay.
sign not to be so helpful around the house.
Yeah. Don't help
That's
your
why I
parents
haven't helped Sophia out in months.
out.
Just letting her get
not
used to me not
true.
being here.
No. Stop it.
Well, that's the end of this episode.
And the end of this. Oh, you said it.
Haha, I stole your words.
Dang it. But that.
She doesn't even know what to do with herself.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
and see you tomorrow.